noticing any of their stuff.
It was really hurting the resale value of those vehicles.
Right, you know, they look like cabs.
So,
Like, you know what, they, like you say though, they get a color that's brand zone, bro. Like red.
We should be up in about an hour, bro.
Okay.
We'll see, though. I've heard that like 95 times. I don't want you to say anything yet, though.
Red. This is not an omen of things to come.
What?
I sent you an email. Don't forget.
What?
To call Ridian at Orthodontic today.
Yeah.
That's today.
I'll go get them.
Oh,
Gee, that looks good. Some updates.
you screwed me, Martino.
Okay. Well, I can remember that date.
this is casual. It wasn't radio.
Yeah.
I think I have a good time over here.
Just remember,
Nowadays, Tom doesn't wear pants. Nobody knows, right?
the louder you are does not make you righter, sir. More entertaining, yes, but more correct, no.
They were up, Tom, just so you know.
And watch your grammar today, please. We had lots of complaints last Friday.
It happens.
God, it is funny how people actually...
You know, not one complaint, nothing back from Pueblo, though. I swear you
Not one word.
Nothing from them, not one word from the DA's office, but not, you know...
They're just jerking off
after
down there.
trash no money air, you think they call something.
They're watching the passing the video around everybody.
Jesus, that is. They're just
Let's
jerking
have
off.
a donut and watch that video again.
Listen, that,
Is that a voodoo donut you have there?
I need a link.
Did you see the thing, Mark, from that guy?
Holy shit.
Where'd you find
NVIDIA just broke
About the 4
263.
attempts is what she made to kill herself.
It's up 6%.
I didn't know. I didn't see that.
Go ahead, sir.
That was what the bag
What'd
over
you
the
say?
head was. That was one of them.
Who's up 6%?
NVIDIA.
I wanted
Today?
to, I want to talk a little bit about that bakery.
Yeah, it's a good one, man.
That is
The
good.
decision is not exactly what a lot of people are looking for. But,
What do you mean?
well, they didn't really decide the ultimate question whether someone on the basis of religion in Colorado or anywhere can discriminate.
Yeah, they did. They said
No, they said only he could, and the reason is the commission here in Colorado, they actually handled it unfairly. Some of the comments they made
but
to
still,
him.
the issue is still the core issue, right, Mark?
No, the issue is if the commissioner didn't say certain things to him, like, I don't believe you should be able to do this on the basis of religion. This one was settled. You could literally have the same case next week that's not settled.
Okay, now.
It's all right, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, I listened. Did you listen to Ross on the way in?
No, I
Yeah, he talked a lot about it.
It is kind of complicated. It's
He
not.
talked a lot about it.
It's not
he was
that
on for about an hour.
Hey, can you ask Ross to come in?
But
That's a good idea.
These other people,
That's a
these
good
other
idea.
people discriminated because they wouldn't put the message on. So I don't think anything will settle. Besides this guy, I mean, that's crazy that they didn't look at
I listened to Ross for about an hour and a half.
I just got a dental appointment today really quickly. That was there was cancellation, so I can get in. So what I'm saying is I'll be back though because I want to, do vlogs and all that stuff. Also, I found out what those FAQs and things I had to do were that confused me. It was on the Claim Booster site, so I'm working on that. I want to get all the and hello, Joel.
Joe!
Mr. Martino.
How are you? Just keep that up, Mr. Martino. No,
No, I know he doesn't like that.
Don't look him directly in the eyes at any time.
Always look down, walk behind him, and walk there to his left.
Who was that guy that was telling all those people that, the black dude that does,
now seriously.
No, what is that show, Family Feud? What's that guy's name? Steve Harvey. They had him on tape telling his entire staff that, don't look me in the eyes, blah, 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 blah.
That's not
I swear to God.
You know what? He's
Real
such
deal.
a good guy.
I think he is kind of a good guy.
Did
I
you
like
see
him.
when he blew that Miss America or Miss whatever?
Oh yeah.
I mean, what do you mean?
You know what, Steve? I'll tell you what, Steve Harvey is one of the most popular people on TV. He's funny. You know who else is? That guy on the Today Show and on the Voice.
Can you talk case with us real quick?
You want me to?
Yeah, you had that thing you had this morning. That finding is complicated. It's not a.
It is complicated. I just got a request from BBC to be on with them in England.
In England?
In England. And
What do they do at Skype?
They want me. Yeah, they want me to use FaceTime since I don't have
What do
Skype.
you feel is the best source?
Troubleshooter show.
Well, never mind. We'll just talk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, Tom Martino, the Troubleshooter.
You have to be out back.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. I'm a consumer advocate here, going on 40 years in Denver, solving problems, answering questions, taking complaints, making your life a little easier. We have recovered millions of dollars for people in cash, merchandise, exchanges, refunds, and services. Live on Facebook, live on YouTube, as well as, of course, iHeart, the radio app, and the radio station here in Denver, KHOW, and other affiliates. We love doing what we do because I think that directly helping people, you can't do better than that, right? And media with a purpose, not trying to change your religion, not trying to change your politics, not trying to change anything. I think one thing we all have in common, we don't like getting ripped off, lied to, or cheated. Now, there is a primary consumer issue. I look at it as a consumer issue, but it is a hot political issue. We're not discussing the politics of this, but it's a Supreme Court ruling, and it's really a weird thing. But let me get right down to the thing that started it all, and then we'll talk to my colleague, Ross Kaminsky, and, of course, Mark Major has some comments. Here's the bottom line. This couple, or this person, went into a bakery and said, I want a cake done. But where did it get controversial, Ross? The case itself, not the decision, but they simply asked him to bake a cake, and he said no?
Yes, so this gay couple, two guys, went into Masterpiece Cake Shop up in Lakewood and asked Jack Phillips to make a cake specifically for their wedding. And he said...
Did they want anything about it? Was it phallic or anything like that? Or
no.
It was just a cake.
It was just a cake, but it was a cake that they wanted made specifically for that event. And Jack Phillips is a devout Christian who doesn't believe in gay marriage.
So he said, I won't do it.
He said, I won't do it. He said, you can buy any cake that's already made. He said, I'll sell you a birthday cake. He said, I don't have anything against gays. I'm happy to... Yeah. I just don't want to put my artistic talent into supporting something that I believe is immoral.
Okay, and really, did he even have to go so far as to give a reason? Can someone just refuse? Because we really don't have a lot of answers. But what I want to say is, they sued him for this. First of all, do you think they did this knowing he was going to refuse? Was this something that was set up?
I think it's reasonably likely that did happen that way.
Because they could have gone to any number of bakeries.
Yeah, they could have. And he's pretty well known as a Christian conservative, and because in the past he had, for example, refused to make Halloween cakes because he thinks Halloween is
demonic, right.
Yeah. So that was known about him. Let me just throw one thing in here that I didn't know about, and I was reading the Supreme Court opinion
today. By the way,
today.
calls, I'm still taking your calls on problems, questions, complaints. We will get to all of you, I promise. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. So if you're on hold, please, we will get to you. Yes.
Okay, so two quick things. Today's ruling basically just said that the Colorado Civil Rights Commission treated him unfairly, that they went into it with a bias against religious people and that he wasn't treated fairly. The Supreme Court didn't today say that your right to free exercise of religion trumps anti-discrimination laws. They didn't say it doesn't either. They just didn't reach the question. There was a part of the story that I never knew about before, which was really interesting to me. There was a gentleman whose last name is Jack, Mr. Jack, as opposed to Jack Phillips, whose first name is Jack, who went to 3 different bakers asking them to make cakes. Mr. Jack is a religious Christian conservative. He asked 3 bakers to make cakes with some writing on them against gay marriage. 3 bakers, based on their own secular convictions, said, no, we're not going to make these cakes for you. He went to the Colorado Civil Rights Commission, and they found in all 3 cases in favor of the bakers, saying the bakers can refuse to make these cakes because the message on the cake violates their principles, which weren't even based on religion.
Well, hold on. I never knew
I didn't know this part of the story until today either, Tom.
Now, wait a minute. Was this brought up at the Supreme Court?
Yes. It was in Gorsuch's concurrence and probably in some other parts.
So, well, we all know that there are certain things that are what I call popular opinions, and some aren't. And we do know that people have rights to express opinions. So why was it even brought to court to begin with if this guy just said, even if he said, my opinion, my feeling, I don't want to make it? I guess because you couldn't say to a black couple, you can't stay at my motel because I have an icky feeling about black people. You can't do that. So there is a difference between just a feeling, a political or philosophical feeling, and a religious belief, right? These other people that refused to make anti-gay cakes, for lack of a better term, they just did it based on their own morals, their own feelings.
Yeah.
And the commission would not take those cases. They said they were fine.
They said they were fine. And really, as Gorsuch put it, in all the salient legal points, these cases are the same. And one thing that's really important to keep in mind that's different from your example of, you know, I have a bad feeling about black people or something like that. None of these guys, none of the bakers in any of these 4 cases said, I've got a bad feeling about gays or about religious conservatives. They just said, I don't want to make that cake because that violates my beliefs in this situation. But if you want anything else, something I've already made, or you want a birthday cake, I'll make it for you.
Okay, so he truly, and I can see that, he didn't want to take part in this celebration, but they could buy anything. So didn't a lower court, though, say that he was wrong? I mean,
no.
And to get to the Supreme Court, it didn't go direct to the Supreme Court, did
No,
they?
it went to the Colorado Court of Appeals, maybe the Colorado Supreme Court.
And they must have upheld the Civil Rights Commission.
Yes, they did, every step of the way. And in fact, almost every court in America has ruled against the religious person in cases like this. There was one case recently where a judge ruled what I think is the correct way. And for the record, I'm not Christian and I'm not conservative, but it's obvious to me that Jack Phillips should be able to say, I'm not making this cake.
Well, sure, in my opinion, too, he should be able to refuse it. But we get to a very delicate situation. The right to refuse based on what? Because you can use religion, or you can use beliefs, you can use opinions to discriminate, which would make it terrible for minorities of any kind. So I don't get, like, for example, if religious beliefs, true, closely held religious beliefs, believed, for example, that blacks were part, and I only bring up blacks because it's just so easy to, you know, because we've always had this issue of minorities with blacks. What if a deeply held religious belief, I don't know of any, but I'm just saying, held that blacks were part of a condemned tribe or something? They didn't want anything to do with them. What happens? What happens? That religious belief would not be upheld? No,
I don't think it would. I think you're right. I think a court would say that is not a true religious belief, and I think they're... Now, of course, then that gets you into drawing these lines.
The question is there such thing
But that's a protected class as well, though.
But they both are, right? Religion and these minorities, both protected classes.
It really, I don't know if you say protected, because whites are covered under those discrimination laws, too. I mean, we're all covered under them. So it's not...
Sort of. I mean,
we are.
If you read, like, the, 64 Civil Rights Act, it doesn't talk about whites, right? It'll talk about,
separation, right, based on
blacks
color.
And religion and all that.
So what exactly, then, did this Supreme Court ruling say? Did it say, based on religion, you're allowed to discriminate?
No, absolutely not.
What was the issue for them?
It said that the Civil Rights Commission went into this hearing with Phillips, showed hostility to religion, didn't treat him fairly, and therefore their ruling in this case has to be tossed out. They left open the possibility, actually, that the Civil Rights Commission could hear it again, treat him fairly, whatever that means, and rule the same way, and it might be okay. So to answer the most important question, we're going to need another Supreme Court case.
It says in CNN, today's decision is remarkably narrow and leaves for another day virtually all the major issues because none of them were decided.
And that's why it was 7-2. If it was going to be the real First Amendment thing, it would have been 5-4 one way or another, with Anthony Kennedy being the swing vote. No way you would have gotten 7 for the actual fundamental question of can discrimination law trump First Amendment free exercise of religion?
What was the commission saying? Were they saying, Jack Phillips, you're wrong because you discriminated, or is that it?
Yeah. You're not allowed to discriminate, period. But they let the other guys do it.
What if somebody wanted him to bake a cake for a satanic celebration. Now, I'm not equating homosexuality with demonic activity. What I'm saying is, how far does it go? If you want someone to bake a cake for Republican and you're a Democrat, you don't want to do it, or you want them to bake a cake. You know what I'm.
I do.
Like what freedoms are freedoms, and what freedoms are an excuse to discriminate?
See, you and I might disagree on this, and I know you don't want to get too political. So
but this is a really
I think this is just my personal perspective. Okay, that. Companies should be allowed to discriminate as long as the thing that the person wants won't cause him imminent physical harm if he doesn't get it. Like, you shouldn't be able to say, I'm not going to let you into, if shelter or food or something like that, because that really hurts somebody. But if somebody says, I want a cake, and there's a baker like the next block down, I actually think that that baker should be able to say no for any reason. Look, I'm Jewish, right? So what if it's some, alt-right loon who says, I don't want to bake a cake for a Jew? I think he should be allowed to. As long as I've got another option, I think he should be allowed to. And I really don't like the idea that the fact that we make businesses get licenses just to be in business means that suddenly they have to ask government permission for how they run their business in every way.
Yeah, and it's really...
Do you agree with that statement?
I think businesses should be able to... I think everyone should be able to discriminate in certain ways, but I don't think if a black person walked in, or Hispanic, or Spanish, Mexican, someone with a burqa, I don't think they should say, no, I don't want to do it. I mean, because we can't have a society that just, I don't know, it's a very difficult thing. I think businesses should be able to discriminate on really legit, and then again, what's legit? Like, I don't know.
And there's a difference, I think, between what should they do versus what should be illegal to do, right? There's lots of things that we'd rather have people not do that are legal.
The marketplace takes care of a lot of these. If everything was the way you just described, Ross, a lot of people wouldn't go to that baker because of the reaction.
That's right.
I hear all the time negative things about Chick-fil-A. Because
why?
Because the guy...
Have you ever seen the line at a Chick-fil-A?
No. Oh, here's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about the business. I'm talking about the comments. We actually had a guy say, in Chicago, I believe, was they didn't want them in their city or something. It was a discussion about Chick-fil-A. And then I thought to myself, why is that? It's not because the chicken's bad. It's not because the business is bad. It's because he once heard the owner talk about gay marriage. Now, so then I thought, well, how do you know how many other business owners agree with him or don't? And then it gets down to, what do you have? A test? And you ask them their opinions on things, and if they don't agree with you, you don't want them in your city? It gets very strange. So either you let everything out and you allow people to act the way they will. Like you say, I think in a way that's wisdom, and what Mark said, if you put them both together, some guy could literally discriminate and say, no, I do not want to do this, and then the public could say, well, the hell with you, I'm never going to go to your place again.
Right, and just like the Chick-fil-A, there is a parallel between the cake guy and the Chick-fil-A. Both of them saw a pretty big upsurge in their business when this happened by Christian conservatives who wanted to support them, and then some other guy down the block says, you know what, I'm for gay marriage, and then they got lots of customers too, but mostly I wish we'd keep politics out of just like where I go buy a cake.
But no matter what, these issues are going to keep coming up.
Yeah, and the Supreme Court did not decide it today.
They do that a lot, though.
Yes, they do.
Well, they kept it narrow in scope, and it must be based on what the attorneys asked going into this.
Well, they're looking at that exact case.
Yeah, and the Supreme Court, if they can avoid reaching the thorniest questions by answering a lower question, they almost always do.
All right, we have more coming up. If you want to comment on this, fine. This is not really, we're not really discussing, for or against anything particular. We're talking about rights to discriminate, and rights not to be discriminated against. And who you heard was Ross Kaminsky, our morning show host. And if you have any comments, you can, of course, make them. And, of course, I have consumer calls as well. Dwayne, Henry, Jason, Robert, thank you all for being there. Let's talk about Cam Solar. Right now, you can't help but see that sun shining bright. Do you know Colorado has an average of, what do they say, 360 days of sunshine? Cam Solar is a company that we have finally gotten, a great solar company we can get behind, a company that has a history of 20 years or more with 3,000 systems in operation. And this is the only company, and this is what's important, the only company that gives a performance guarantee for 20 years and a 20-year bumper-to-bumper equipment warranty. So this is like trouble-free. And no money out of pocket because of tax credits and because of utility company rebates, and they have low-cost financing. You can get an analysis of your property, your site. They can do it by computer based on your roof, and they can do that by satellite imagery in 20 minutes. So if you go to this website, especially made for my listeners, within 20 minutes, you will get a complete analysis as to whether or not it's worth going forward. 720-449-2935 if you want to call. But I'd rather you go to this other place and then put in all your information. GoCamSolar.com. GoCamSolar.com. Then put a /troubleshooter.
You know what Ross was talking about, voting with their feet. Last summer, we had
Voting with what?
Well, it's called voting with your feet when you don't go to someplace, you walk away from it. Like you were talking about dollars. Well, yeah, it's also called voting with your feet. But anyway, last summer.
Are you saying people literally like go in and vote with their feet? Like ballot box?
Voting with your feet.
What's he talking about?
What are you talking about?
The Chick-fil-A. Voting with their feet.
Old school saying.
Last summer, I went to the one at Colorado Mills to pick up chicken, because that's what the girls wanted for the night. And I go there, there was a damn line across, all the way across the parking lot.
I know, it's crazy.
It was unbelievable. And then
The one in Castle Rock, it'll like wind around to where you can't even get in other places.
well, there was
I agree,
protesters.
it's good chicken.
There was protesters at the door, is why that was signed, because it was a protest day for Chick-fil-A. And so what
Who
happened
would protest chicken?
they're protesting the owner because he's anti-gay marriage.
They're not publicly traded, but if they were, I'd protest them too, because you can make a shitload more money being open on Sunday, and that's the real deal, man. I've never seen a place where the line is that crazy. How he gives up those dollars proves to me his beliefs are as real gets.
Bandimere was that way. Bandimere, all drag races are on Sunday. Bandimere suffered for years because of his religion.
I couldn't give up that mighty dollar like that. No way, though.
That was so weird because
I hire seculars to run it on Sunday.
Because you had these
Say,
right.
no curses over here.
So I thought to went in and there's nobody at the door. You know, but here they're protesting, yet they got a 3-block long line. People were voting.
And video's going to be $2.65
by supporting them, you know what I'm saying?
We said 6%, $6.
Oh. Did I say? Well, wait a minute.
6%.
Oh, wait a second, homesickle. Wait a minute.
It's a stupid commercial for one thing.
Yeah, like 2%, 2.5%.
Oh yeah, 2.5. Now it's $7.
Say like, you know,
It's crazy.
come by our
I guess it really,
sandwiches because they're made by
that
gays.
is the one for.
You know, they'll get support that way too.
Jack came out and said,
Who's Jack?
he's the CEO, he's kind of like a superstar.
I would think
Came out and said,
on the gay rights side.
you think the last quarter was fucking good?
You can't say that.
Hold on to your hat. We can't even adjust as high as we're going to.
This is where now he will get
Watching
slapped
them
down.
go on the RV
That doesn't like that. But if you get ones that just, I mean, there's guys out there that they mumble through the report and they don't have any reports.
I need this Walmart to take off.
You know what? I am really puzzled about this case. I don't really know when it's going to terminate.
He wants to go to the office so he can connect and talk to his friends. Are you fine with that if he's not in the office?
And so, I do
No,
believe they can't help.
It's generally okay to discriminate against.
Is it natural? Because if everybody was gay, we wouldn't have a population.
There should be a bunch of
personal belief.
I know the people listening.
This is, you know, you can't get down on two people.
Before you have surgery, consult.
And then I just, well, now like you said, you don't.
I sold that SU, man. I'm still up on SU when I sold it all. I killed it.
Oh, yeah.
almost exhausted.
And I'll get my,
Twins in our family.
money.
My money.
Your deputy clean? Yeah. This gentleman over here?
He's done it all.
Dan.
Yeah, hey,
This.
Oh, by the way, hi.
Hey, you doing, Tom?
I was trying not to look you in the eye.
just remember to walk behind him when he leaves the door there.
You're being a good guy.
Not too close.
Back on that, you're sitting in the danger spot with your left foot
He waves you up.
Are you a Seinfeld fan, Joe?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, if anything's
I was.
Seinfeld.
No, it's fine.
I
You
am,
put the
yeah.
cat back on.
We just might test.
We're sitting here, we have to put cats back.
How big of a Seinfeld
That would have been a great.
Feeling good about.
Would have been a great time to say that there was anything wrong with it.
Okay, tell us the 3 things to define
Festivus.
Festivus.
Oh gosh, oh my goodness.
Come on, well, this is.
All right, tell us
You
one.
mean 3 traditions, not that define it.
Well, to define the holiday of Festivus, 3 things that they said was involved in that holiday.
I can think of
Like the airing of grievances.
That would be
Well,
correct.
why don't you just give it to him?
I know.
Feats of physical strength.
Those are the 2 I can remember.
And the pole.
Oh, the
Pole, I forgot the pole.
No, I knew about the pole, but I was thinking about more things.
It's like a Christmas tree.
By the way, he's got some.
Okay, guys, shh.
BestBasementsDenver.com. I could not think of a better website. Unless, of course, you do garages. That would be a really terrible website. BestBasementsDenver.com. Can you tell what Jack Lent does? Lent Construction. 20 years in the construction business. BestBasementsDenver.com. Some of his hallmarks, really, the line-by-line pricing with no allowances, but he tells you exactly what things will cost based on what you want. He gives you choices on levels of finish. And then he does something called value engineering, which I really love. So if you have a certain design, he looks for the most cost-efficient way to do it, to give you the most bang for the buck. He's really a wonderful guy, too. He has some law enforcement background as well. He's very ethical. He's very detailed. He's a perfectionist. BestBasementsDenver.com. Lent Construction. So let's talk, people. What's on your mind? How can we help you? Well, let's go to the phones and find out. And that's Robert. Robert, your turn. What's happening, Robert?
Hi, Tom.
Hey.
I have a Kia Sportage, and I bought it with about 65,000 miles on it, so it was past the warranty.
65,000? Okay.
Yeah, so it was used. So I immediately had the timing belt replaced, just to be safe.
Oh, that's good. That's a smart thing to do, because all vehicles starting at around 60,000 to 95,000 have intervals for timing belt, except if you have a chain. And it's especially important if people have what's called an interference engine.
Yeah.
And what that means is without timing, the valves will slam up against the piston. So bottom line is this. If you have a used car and you purchase it, no matter who you purchase it from, and you don't know the maintenance, get the timing belt done at around 60 or more, depending on the manufacturer. So what's happening now, Robert?
Okay, so I had the belt changed. This would be back in October of 2015. I have the receipt for it and everything.
Gotcha, sir.
So a few days ago, I'm driving it, almost a week ago, I'm driving it, and it kills. And I've had failed timing belts before, so right away my suspicion was, oh crap, the timing belt went out. So I had it towed to an automotive place close to where I live that I've used before. I think they're fine. And yes, it was the timing belt. Yes, it's an interference engine, and yes, there's damage. So worst case scenario I'm looking at.
Why the heck would a timing belt go out if you had it done in 15? How many miles were on this timing belt?
It would be about 29,000 miles if the belt was done. But here's the problem.
You don't know if it was done. You know what? That would be such an easy repair to fake. It's called the wall job. You bring it in, they park it near the wall, and you come and get it, and it's still there.
Yeah. And on top of it, this person that I'd hired to do this, and I don't want to use his name right. I don't want to identify this person. I have some investment properties, and I've been using them to do some.
Okay, well, you don't have to get that detailed. I trust you. So where are we going with this?
I caught him charging me for things that were not installed and for labor that
like
was
what?
performed.
Like what?
Well, it was about $1,000 as I started snooping around my properties and figuring out what was
you
going on.
mean you use him for other stuff and then you
Correct.
found he's not honorable?
Correct. My attorney actually successfully said, hey, this constitutes fraud, so this is what you better pay my client, or we're
How are you going to prove how are you going to prove he did not do the belt when it's 3 years later? Almost 3 years later.
Well, that's my question. I'm wondering
You can't.
if there's some sort of forensic
hold on.
I have the belt, and I sent you pictures in an email.
Let's call.
Now, the shop that replaced it said, they were adamant. They said, there's no way this belt has 29,000.
You know what?
On it.
You can take it to court. Court is based on credibility to be decided by a jury or a judge. You can just throw your argument at them with some expert opinions, and you can sue them for it. How much are you out? How much? Hold on. You have a Kia with an engine that's $65,000. What is it going to cost to fix?
If it had valves and everything bent up, it could be a lot of
But listen,
man.
you understand he does. Robert, let's just get to the basics. You understand that he doesn't owe you a new engine, right?
Yeah, I understand that. I understand. The bill is going to be, worst case scenario, about $3,200.
Now, is that for a used engine, sir?
No, that's going to be to take it to the shop. It is not a replaced engine. It's repairing the damage done.
I understand. Just bringing it to where it was, not rebuilding your engine.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, that sounds about right. So you got small claims court on your side. It's under $7,500. So I would be inclined to do that. Mark, what would you do?
Probably the same thing. It is going to be tough, though. I had 3 years old.
I think if he has experts saying there's no way, blah, blah, blah.
I wonder if it has, like, the Kia, if it actually can be traced back to the manufacturer.
If you have the belt.
Well, I did. I did this. So on the receipt back in 2015 when the belt was allegedly done, I have the receipt. It was a timing belt component kit. So supposedly the belt was replaced. And I'm looking at
the idler pulley.
Yeah, hold on.
Stuff.
Listen, we're getting into more detail than we need for what we're doing. Okay? So I'm not putting.
What did that shop owe?
Hang on.
What did that shop owe this guy though? Didn't it? Apparently, it was done before he purchased it, right? I mean, no,
he had it done.
He had it done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Hang on, Robert. I want to get somebody else on to weigh in on this. So hang on. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Jason was in jail and got a concussion. Why did you get a concussion in jail, Jason?
I have no idea, actually. That's what I'm...
No, wait a minute.
Blank.
I remember this case. You're bipolar. You were having an episode. Your friend called. They arrested you. You're in jail. Do you remember being taken to jail?
Yes, I remember going to the Arvada police station and sat in the jail cell for a good couple hours, 3 hours maybe, at tops. And then I got taken to the Jeffco jail. And I remember sitting down in a room with 2 other inmates that were waiting for their fingerprints to be taken or whatever.
Then what? Then?
I don't know. Like, the last I remember is sitting in that room watching Braveheart on TV. Next thing I know, I wake up in the hospital. It's St. Anthony's Hospital.
Okay.
And they tried saying that I asked what happened, but they said I tried to escape or something. Or I ran into a door. They said I ran into a metal door with my head.
Jason, do you think they just beat the hell out of you for nothing? Or do you think... what do you think?
I don't... Well, I don't know. I mean, I know that there was one...
Okay, then hang on. He doesn't know. So this is fairly easy. It really is. 303-713-8255. Art of Granite. Call. Get prices on the phone. How many places can you do that? You know why you can do it at Art of Granite? Because he knows he's a direct stone importer, so you get wholesale on all the stone. You just tell him what you want, and then give him a basic idea of design and layout. He'll give you a price. Mark did it, and Suzanne, it was within $100 of the final price. Of course, you go to the showroom, pick out the custom edges, the sinks, the cabinets, and everything else, and he does cabinets direct from the manufacturer with a small markup. Art of Granite, open 6 days a week, closed Sundays. Front Range and mountain communities are served. He doesn't charge ever for the tear out and haul away. He doesn't charge for the bath when you have the kitchen done. And wholesale on all material, artofgranite.net. He is a great guy. Get your price on the phone, 303-386-5919.
central booking.
So just to let a little more of that story, he said the sheriff when he came to the hospital said they had it on film and he seen it, that he tried to escape.
He did see it. Oh, so there was
that he didn't see it. He said the sheriff when he come to his room said the sheriff had looked at it and he seen him try to escape.
I think they have tape in almost everything. So
why is he calling?
Central booking's number one.
That's not where he was though.
Because here's the other thing, they did not write charges up for him they didn't write any extra charges that he tried to escape or anything.
Because they realize he's nuts, probably.
Maybe.
We get a lot of.
But I'll bet you, here's what I'll bet, the tape is erased. I will put.
No.
Why? Every time I've ever tried to go to it, the tape is always erased.
Normally, you mean in a recycled event?
And they should last 2 weeks, at least.
Who said that?
Well, that's what a rap hole apparently theirs is.
I don't think there's any rule at all.
There probably isn't. But what I'm saying is, I will bet you it's erased. I would go. I call him. I think that's
ask him because let me ask him because I.
No, you're going to need to get probably his case.
Don't ask anything because we're not taking it. Why are you going to waste our time on this? The guy, I mean,
he tried to escape.
Well, we don't know if he did. What difference does it make? I mean, we have nothing.
And they didn't even put more charges on him either.
But we have nothing. So, I mean, in other words,
we got a busted eardrum too.
He said he got a
well, okay, and that's terrible. But you know, there's nothing we can do.
Damn.
I mean, we're not mad.
I thought I was hungry.
Last week you said this bipolar on medication.
There's nothing we can do. Absolutely.
No
We
friends.
can find out what if
No
this really
friends.
happened, or he needs a defense lawyer or something.
Why?
There's no new charges.
To see if just say if he got beat up by the,
Who says he got beat up?
Even if he got beat up by the other convicts, who cares?
No, what I'm saying
They
is,
should know that.
well, we can't do, listen, a guy says, look, I'm bipolar, I end up in the hospital, I don't know why. Okay, find out. I mean, why did we assume he was beat up or anything? I mean, there's nothing there, is what I'm saying. He's fucking beat up. I mean, it could be any number of things. Are you saying, you know, they would just walk in and beat the shit out of him for nothing, or what?
Well, like I say, it'd be good. You're right. It sounds rather silly, but
No, it's not silly, it's serious, but there's nothing there. What I mean is, we don't have any inkling of anything.
Shouldn't he be able to see the tape that this is what happened?
Okay, let him see the tape. I mean, I don't know if that tape is just, you can just take that tape because other people are on it. So if he wants to get the tape, he has to file for a lawsuit and do it in discovery. He really does, and I don't know what basis he would have. Is he suing on the suspicion?
I think he just wants to know what happened.
You got a bad sandwich.
I mean, he's got a busted eardrum and stitches on his head. So that, I mean, how do you bust your eardrum running into a door?
But the fact
he was trying to escape and they beat the
They
shit out
could
of
have beat him if he was trying to escape. They to subdue him. When this bipolar guy could be going fucking nuts.
He might have punched himself.
There might have been things.
You don't know. Seriously.
What I'm saying is you should be able to allow to see the tape of what happened.
I've had to help subdue people that are
Why? Because that's
not fun.
Why should he be able to see it though? I don't get that. Fucking Walmart won't even show me something if someone opened the car up on my door. Why?
No, I know.
Well, this is he's in their care.
He might use that.
He's in their care at the time.
He is in their care, but we don't go hunting on hunches. I swear to God, we have so many other things that the guy is in the jail and he has injuries. How did it happen? They should let him see the fucking tape. Why wouldn't they?
Because they're afraid he might sue him.
They have that film to protect themselves.
Why even give it to someone to come after you with? If some defense attorney sees it.
I think they should let him see it.
Right. And that's what that his.
And, under public information, I don't know what would keep us from getting it. Nothing, right?
Well, I don't know. You think we can actually get jail from inside or video from inside of jail? I don't know.
I would think you'd have to have releases of the people that are in the film. You're showing who's in, of course, the public record who's in jail too. So
I was saying both times my son was in there, the lawyer went to go get it.
Your son was in jail twice.
Below in what we call when they're less than 18. Yeah.
June. So they what? Wouldn't show video?
Your son
Wouldn't
is
show
erased,
badass?
isn't he? No, erased. Your son's a badass.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Tom Martino, your consumer advocate. By the way, we have a common man in today I'll get to in a minute. We plucked him from the great unwashed and let him, he's basking in radio glory. The only two requirements, he's a long-time listener, he loves and adores me, so we'll get to him in a minute here, see if those are true. If not, give him the old heave-ho. Hey, listen. Okay, you're bipolar, you're in jail, you end up with a concussion, broken eardrum, fractures. So, now, that's not good, but they say it happened when he was trying to escape. They were subduing him. All right, now, he doesn't have any memory whatsoever. What do we do? Well, we do nothing because we have nothing to go on. What he has to do is get a copy of the tape or look at the tape. Now, Jason, are they refusing to let you see the tape?
I haven't asked. I didn't
That's
know
what
I
you
was
need. That's
able to do that.
That's your very first thing. And I think you do it this way. Listen, I am so curious as to my condition, and I cannot believe that I was that out of control. Could you please let me see that tape? I'd like to view it. And then I'd like to put any suspicions out of my mind. Now, if they say no, then you would have to hire an attorney, and you would have to pursue a lawsuit, and then this would be opened up to you in discovery. But it could be for nothing, but that's the only thing. I mean, these are tapes that they do to protect themselves. They should let you see them. I would be, you know what? I would be curious too, Jason. I really would be. I would want to know, you know, what did happen? And I think you have a right to know, but I don't think you have a right like I demand right now to know what happened because you're the one in custody. I mean, other than that, I think you should just ask and see what they say. I would be, I want you to let us know immediately what they say. If you could call us back, we'd appreciate it. And then once you look at it, there's three possibilities, One, you were trying to escape and they subdued you. Case closed. Two, you were trying to escape or getting mouthy or whatever, and they overreacted. You know, instead of just subduing you, they were pissed off and they beat you. Now, that does happen. Let's face it. Number three, none of those happen, and we'll find something else. So do it, and then let us know. I would I would simply start directly at the sheriff's department saying, I want to see the tape of when this happened. And if they say no, it's in a nice way. You know, you don't have to be confrontational. Can you tell me why you won't let me see it? You know, there shouldn't be anything to hide. All right? Would you get back to us on it? Give him a back number to call. Thank you very much. 303-713-TALK. Now, on the timing belt, we can't get a hold of our forensic guy. I was going to ask him if there was a way that we could literally send that belt off to be tested, just to see, is it original factory? Robert, other than that, I think you have a very weak case to try to just accuse the guy of not changing it.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was hoping to find is some sort of forensic test that would look at it and I don't know, have you had a chance to look at the photos in the email? It's in really bad shape. I mean, it's bad. You mean the belt? The belt, yes. Do you have any section of that belt that can be like a 2-inch or 1-inch actual solid piece of belt? Oh, no, I have the whole belt where it's failed and there's a number of... Well, then there should be, you should be able to... Are there any numbers on it? No, I couldn't find that. But supposedly the tensioner and the water pump were also replaced. Okay. And I have those as well. And what do they show? Do they show where?
Well, are they factory original? I mean, that's the biggest thing.
That's the other thing. I sent the numbers and photo to Kia USA, and they started a case, but I have not heard back.
Okay.
So I'm pursuing
You're
that.
doing the right thing. So I want you to stay in touch with us and tell me what you hear from Kia. You're doing the right thing. It sounds to me, just my hunch, is that he didn't do it. It's the easiest job. Hold on. It's the easiest job to fake. I'm looking at these tapes, right? Oh, this should be easy to identify, guys. Have you seen it? My goodness. This should be easy to identify. But how you would tell how many miles?
I think it's going to come down to, is it factory original?
Right. And do you think, Mark, I think they would be able to tell.
I don't know. Someone's able to tell for
All right,
sure.
303-713-8255. Basically, you know, it all comes down to that. So we have two things now. We need somebody to say, is this factory original or not? And there's got to be a way to know. You got right down to the fibers you can check. Then we have the guy that was bruised and beat after being arrested. Was he beaten on purpose? Was it vindictive? Or was it just subduing him? He needs to get a hold of the tape. So whatever on your mind, we will give you directions to go. You go and we'll follow it along. We've done that a lot. Now our common man today, as I promised to introduce, is Joel Schott. Joel, you've called the show before. On what issues? Give me an idea of what you've called before.
Oh gosh, several issues. One being I had some financial problems a while back, and do I file bankruptcy or do I...
Did you decide to do a bankruptcy or not?
I did not. No, I figured that...
Did you ever talk to Wink and Wink?
I did. I talked to Gigi.
Aren't they great? No, I'm serious.
Yeah.
And this is, by the way, a promotion because we promote great people. But did they help you decide whether or not you should do a bankruptcy? They do Chapter 7s, Chapter 13s, but they also do that debt settlement. What did they do?
Well, she gave me some great advice on how to approach it. Now, I know here in Colorado you have... there's a homestead exemption, so there's a certain amount to...
In many states, and you get to write off, not write off, but you get to keep a certain amount of equity. Did you have equity in your home?
Quite a bit, yeah. So I live in Colorado Springs, but I have, I mean, in this market now, I've probably got 80, 90 grand.
Yeah, and you only get to keep, what, 60 of it?
I believe it's 75.
Oh, that's right. It was raised. So anyway, so you figured, did you guys come up with the conclusion that it's better not to do a bankruptcy?
Yeah, so I've been the sole provider of my family, so it's best to get my wife to work.
Did you get... Well, no.
I like that.
No. Two incomes help, and I understand what he's saying. Do you have children?
I do. I have a 12-year-old boy, 10-year-old girl, and a 7-year-old girl.
Yeah, so it was pretty difficult. So now, did you get out of debt yet?
No, but we've got a plan to
Do you have an actual plan?
An actual plan, not like a written down, not a Dave Ramsey plan, but a plan.
He has a pretty good plan, but they're a dime a dozen. I really mean that. I don't mean to downplay what he does, but truly, these plans are not difficult to follow if you just follow them.
Exactly. So if you watch, you know, the money that comes in and where it goes out, that's the step number one right there. But yeah, some of the stuff I think, you know,
you pay off the highest interest one, or some people say the lowest balance one first. I say you take the highest interest and you take all of your money against that one and make minimum payments on the others until that's paid, then go to the next highest.
Yep.
And you can go by interest or by balance. But it shows progress, and you get to take one at a time, and then you keep the same amount of money, though, going out. So you're not increasing the amount, although you can do that as well.
I want to know from Clint after the break if we've got any update on El Paso County out there and the...
this is crazy stuff. And the
teenage masturbation.
On the pornographic film or video this woman took, it's absolutely terrible. Bright Light Chiropractic is a place to go for... Oh, by the way, winkandwink.com if you're looking for them. And Bright Light Chiropractic, a chiropractor that does chiropractic. He doesn't do fake stem cells or anything else. This guy is great. His name is Mike Hederscheit. Dr. Hederscheit will take care of you as a family chiropractor. He does what's called the torque release technique. You can talk to him about it, but here's the bottom line. He does gentle, targeted spinal manipulation to get the body to heal itself. Anyone familiar with chiropractor will love him, and if you're new to chiropractor, it's the best way to be introduced the way he does it. A full scan and evaluation with x-rays and consultation is only $50. Once that's done, the adjustments are just $50. They can go down as low as $30 depending on how you buy them in packages. And he's doing the whole thing, the evaluation and first adjustment for just $75 for new patients. Give them a try. University and County Line, brightenyourfamily.com, brightenyourfamily.com. That's brightenyourfamily.com.
Timing belt. Did he say he had the pulleys and the others, the water pump?
Yes, he's got everything. Yes.
Why would they replace that, not the belt?
Well, no, he didn't say he didn't say they did replace it. He doesn't know.
Well, you got to pull the belt off to replace those parts.
No, right. He said he had that done at the same time. He doesn't know if it was done or not. You're asking why would they do that and not the belt?
He's checking into that.
He doesn't even know if they did it.
He doesn't know what's been done or not.
Okay. It could be that they did. He doesn't know. Okay. But you're right. My guess would be if that's a new water pump, then they did it.
Well, of course.
Yeah, I mean, because they wouldn't leave one of those little things out once they do it.
No.
That belt
But are water pumps always
but it was
changed out with
shredded
timing belts?
No. All the things.
Hey,
You see
do
this?
you know?
Yeah, but when it shreds, all that can happen.
Sometimes
you
if
can
it
take
If
off
it
all the
was
knobs.
that bad before, it would have the vehicle
No,
would
it's
have been
separate,
out
but
of
they
time.
have
It would've
kits
crashed.
because a lot of times the idle closures and stuff cause it.
I see what you're saying.
As soon as it broke is what.
If the water pump seizes, it'll rip the teeth out of the belt. If the idle pulley seizes, it'll rip the belt out. So that's why they generally put those kits in when they do
And he got the whole kit put in.
So it makes no sense that they would do the kit.
He
not the belt.
doesn't know that.
I know that.
Okay, right.
But I'm just saying it doesn't make sense that they would do it that way.
You wouldn't think unless he
And
said
did you notice
They either did it or
Yeah.
didn't do it.
You guys didn't notice the shoes?
Oh, I'll bet you lunch.
Lunch, all right.
Mark can tell you where you got your shoes.
Let me see them. Some I can't.
Ooh, probably lunch.
Adidas. Canvas Adidas 3-stripers. I know, I did see those. I know what store I saw them in. Okay. You already bet on lunch, though.
I say he can do it for lunch.
All right.
Kind of faith
I know where you got those shoes.
Where'd I go?
You gonna bet on lunch?
I'll bet you lunch.
Okay.
On your feet.
Oh my God.
On your feet.
Hey, lunch.
Lunch.
What do we have?
All right.
Lunch.
2 out of 3.
Boom.
You've been
What's
initiated.
I know where you got that shirt.
Okay. We have
Okay, I get it.
We fed our
More
families-
lunches.
We fed
So
our
much fun
families
back
on
here.
this.
Have you been fucking tracking how many lunches we were owed?
You've been initiated.
Oh my goodness, man. I was like, there's no way, because I got them in Texas at an outlet mall. And you're not going to get it, but.
I bet you I can tell you what store you got them at now.
Adidas.
Yeah, but I'm all
Yeah.
2 lunches.
We fed our families on this.
We haven't bought lunch for.
You're back on at 11? Is that what it is?
Now that I know how.
No, we'll be back on for like 3 minutes.
What do you need to do?
I don't. Well, I'll go to the restroom a little bit.
Oh,
But
you
No, you go in anytime.
Anytime you
The
want.
door's quiet coming in. Doesn't make any-
Hey, guess who owes Dan and I lunch?
but they picked
The common man, Joe. Because I guess where he got his shoes.
Okay. You got to warn me.
Tom loves it.
And you know what?
Tom thinks it's the funniest thing he's
little
ever seen.
morons, they laughed as if it was the first time they heard it. I swear to God. On your feet! You got to use that emphasis.
Like,
You don't watch our show.
I'm going to go get some bread, not your lunch.
Tom can guess where you got your shirt.
Oh my goodness. It's like family here.
We set him up. We get the lunch. Tom swoops in for the dinner.
He always does it for dinner.
Mark, can I have that out of order? You need it. Can I have this one, Mark? Yes. Thanks. Hey, Mark. When are we launching?
We're already launched, but let's not talk about it until they fix that issue. I didn't want to revert. Oh, Lord.
Here I am getting lunches. You're over there worried about shit.
That lady that got beat up
A week's worth of groceries.
When was that? You see that lady that got beat up in the beach, Mark?
Oh, you in the beach, or you
In
mean
New Jersey, that she got arrested or something. She was talking to a cop, but they only had the video of her getting.
What did she do? Offer him a
Well, I think she was 20 years old and had like a wine cooler. And I think the cop was hitting on her or something like that. And then,
The cop was hitting on her?
I think so. Yeah, and she just kind of denied him and then arrested her. Oh, it's on. He was in New Jersey. Yeah. One of the beaches.
Daphne said another one where
Could be
a
drinking in public.
kid was walking through Best Buy. I gotta look this one up. And the guy just punched
Oh,
him.
I saw it, man. He clocks that kid. Stole his phone. Clocks him.
Hey, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, your consumer advocate. Let's go right to the phones. And if you are looking for great siding, K&H, oh my goodness, K&H Home Solutions. I just can't say enough about this siding. This siding is forever, so you do it once, and it has a texture of cedar, but a palette of colors. And it's made from minerals like talc and other things, along with some plastics, and it's color fast, color's impregnated. It's waterproof. It's virtually indestructible. It's a one-time thing. And you won't do better. They're taking $6,200 off your whole purchase. It's a real deal. K&H Home Solutions, I've known them for the whole time I've been in Colorado. The original owner started 62 years ago. Ted Rowland took over about 25 or 30 years ago. It's called Everlast, okay? Everlast at K&H. Also, they do have, of course, beautiful, wonderful windows. But right now, I'm just telling you about that siding, $6,200 off. They do have 25% off their windows and a free upgrade to triple pane glass. So just look to them, okay? khwindows.com. Make your own appointment. khwindows.com. Find out more about them. khwindows.com. All right, so Henry, what's going on with you? I'm going to be a little prejudiced here because I don't know Big O Tires from anywhere, but we never have problems with these people. What problem could you have with Big O?
My wife took her 2000 Astro van to Big O's to get her brakes fixed.
Yeah.
Because her brakes were screeching real loud and pulsating. So we've taken it down there 5 times.
But hold on. 5 times because they didn't do it right? Give me the story. You went the first time and paid how much?
$1,153.
Oh, so we're talking about a major brake job here.
Yes.
That's a lot of money. I don't even know. Wait a minute. This is a, what kind of car? Astro van.
Sounds like rotors, calipers, front, rear. Sounds like a big brake job.
How many miles on this?
I don't know right offhand.
I'm sure a lot.
Is it more than 100, 200? What year?
It's 2000. I think it's probably over 100,000.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so anyway, you went back because it was still screeching?
Screeching and pulsating.
But why would you have to go back 5 times? Have they gotten it better yet?
Well, no, they haven't. Every time we've gone, when we took it out of there, it started screeching.
Come on. Come on. They can't. This is $1,153 you've been in 5 times?
That's not the total. No, not 5 times. That's what we paid the first time. And then on the fifth invoice, they changed the computer module, and that costed 554 cents. So it's a total of $1,832.
Hey, man, I would be upset, too. Is it still not working?
What is the problem?
It's still not working.
Well, wait a minute. How do you know you even needed a computer? This is bothering me now.
Well, they said on one of the invoices that it was showing a lot of codes.
All right, hold on a second. Let's give him a call during the break. Clint, can you give it Deputy Clint, give it a shot right now? Let's just call immediately, though, and see if we can get some kind of information here. And then Common Man, chime in. Oh, Joel, you're welcome to chime in on problems, questions, complaints. Also, people, any problems, line open, 303-713-TALK. You've probably seen those crazy granite ads.
What's that, Mark?
How is that to sell? It's not. So you can go to one of those giant warehouses where you're just...
Well, my glass, this search is working perfectly for me, but
what?
Of granite.
My search.
Search roofing.
Pick out granite from his yard or from
roofing.
He does not mark up
one
that
sec.
granite.
ROOF.
I'm searching stuff. You don't tell me to search, and it's working perfectly. Everything's working.
Search roofing.
I'm going to search
Contractor.
Roof.
CON.
Stone, granite, and
Roof. Perfect. Roof works.
Okay, find Excel.
skillful and affordable.
Is that the only one that doesn't work?
No, there's tons of them. They're very random. Search Contractor.
Wait, let me get roof.
And now, if you call the Art of
I want to see Excel.
Oh, damn it. I sold it and it hits 85. Ain't that a bitch?
It hit 85? Excel's not there.
303-386-1500.
Dropped $200.
Granite.net.
Hey, Excel Roofing doesn't even, Mark, Excel Roofing doesn't even come up with Excel. The word excel.
There's a bunch of shit that the keywords just don't work.
Okay, what else now?
Contractor.
Lawyer.
How many do you think should show up under contractor? Just guess. I don't know. 30, 40, 50?
Under lawyer, 2 show up.
Well, I got a bunch of contractors.
How many you got?
Well, not as many.
You got like 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Where's K&H? Where's Genesis? Where's... That's the problem.
Let me just do this.
Baker had refused to create a custom cake for a same-sex wedding, but the bigger question of whether businesses can deny service...
To me, the Supreme Court wasted their fucking time on that.
Well, they only brought that case.
I know.
That's how the Supreme Court works. Are you trying to practice constitutional law over here, buddy?
Only if I get paid. No, but why did they just say, okay?
You know, some of them work fine, Mark, and some don't.
Yeah, I know. It's fucking random as hell. But they told me...
And the hierarchy.
They actually called me. They told me they know what the problem is. They're working diligently to fix it. They said it's a caching issue.
Shots fired at a Scottsdale extended stay hotel.
Ooh, what happened?
Scottsdale and Phoenix police closed in on a suspect in a recent string of killings.
Oh, yeah, he can pardon himself. That is true.
What are you talking about?
Trump.
Oh, he can pardon.
He tweeted that he could pardon.
I know, but good Juliana, they get hung up on these reporters and stuff.
They're stupid.
Yeah, I guess.
The way they handle it, they're stupid.
Yes.
Do it.
But the reporters, because they say...
I'm with Bob Major.
I'd pardon myself, wouldn't you?
No. What he said...
Of course not. The optics on that
But
the
rest of it he said, but if he did, you know, he'd be impeached right away. That's what but they didn't play that.
I can pardon myself. I do it all the time. If you
Pardon me.
Pardon me. So who says he can't pardon himself? You guys automatically think he's talking about pardoning himself in a presidential stance. I believe it's for belching at the table.
Why do we do this?
Huh? You don't get it.
Don't. He'll just get louder.
He'll just get louder.
Cover a year's salary. Not enough to pay off mortgages or send kids to college.
He's going to patent that statement. Are you saying?
That's where SelectQuote comes in. SelectQuote is your personal life insurance guide. They get multiple quotes to find you the best price from the highly rated companies they represent. John is 36 and in excellent health. He got a $500,000 policy for under $20 a month. Life insurance is about peace of mind, not a false sense of security. Which are you getting? Call SelectQuote now at 1-800-881-4343. That's 1-800-881-4343. Or get started at SelectQuote.com. 1-800-881-4343. SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policy at selectquote.com/commercials. The price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states. This report is brought to you by LifeLock. Sunny today with a high of 93. Tonight mostly clear and a low of 57. Tomorrow mostly sunny with a high of 94. Wednesday mostly sunny and a high of 91. LifeLock Identity Theft Protection has added home security to help protect you against cyber criminals. Protection for your identity and devices. Go to LifeLock.com, enter promo code RISK for an extra 10% off the low starting price of $7.99 a month. Terms apply.
I'm consumer advocate Tom Martino for Larson Tax Relief.
I'm consumer advocate Tom Martino. The best.
To the IRS, I refer them to Larson Tax Relief. If you owe back taxes and it's been years since you filed, these guys are the best. They're smart. They have a fantastic.
So I look up lawyer. Only 2 lawyers come
your
up.
situation. Their name says it all. Larson Tax Relief. Release from your tax debt problems. Larson will get you the absolutely best possible resolution. You won't have to worry about your wages being garnished or losing your house. Larson will get between you and the IRS. They'll save you thousands and thousands of dollars. I trust Ron and Jack Larson and their team of experts, and you can.
So are you an engineer?
I am not. No, I didn't finish school.
Does he look like an engineer?
About
halfway through.
Why'd you ask though?
Because he does inspections of like
civil construction.
Yeah. It's like almost like a civil engineer would be doing as far as, right? You inspect bridges.
I did, and when I lived in Houston, I was a bridge inspector down there. So yeah, I read plans and make suggestions. I just can't make the final decision on.
Gotcha. So Mark, so you say it's just that case that they ruled on? Okay, that's what the Supreme Court does?
For the most part, yeah.
What about Roe v. Wade?
it was on Roe v. Wade.
Right.
That's exactly what it was on.
But they expanded it to everything.
They don't expand it. People take the common law and expand it.
Okay. So they will take this case then.
And they will expand. Hold on.
They'll say only if this exact
But they have
circumstance
to expand it to what they ruled.
They ruled
See,
it.
The ruling was pretty wide on Roe v. Wade, meaning they said in Roe versus Wade, they didn't say because that bus had plenty of seats and the rear seats were unsafe, she shouldn't have been relegated to the rear. If they had said that, it would have been a very specific case.
So Roe v. Wade was abortion.
I'm sorry. I was thinking the other one. Okay, abortion. If they said, I don't remember what the ruling said, but they made this narrow. They didn't say anything about discriminating against.
Right, so that's what I'm saying. Why, I know, but why did they do that? Why didn't they expand it?
Because it wasn't brought before them.
No, but
the actual issue wasn't brought.
No, they don't go outside.
If the lower,
they didn't. They just ruled on Roe v. Wade, but the way they ruled was general.
If the lower
they
court,
didn't say
I can get through to it. I can get through to it.
Every
if
abortion,
the lower court in this one didn't screw up, okay, then they would have ultimately answered the question you're looking for.
Shooter. I'm Tom Martino. Welcome to the show this hour, brought to you by Centeno Schultz for True Stem Cell Therapy. And I mean true stem cell therapy because there are so many ripoffs out there. I am a consumer advocate. I fight ripoffs. I fight for what I call truth, justice, and the American way. But what we want, right, what do we want in life? We just want to be happy and be treated fairly. That's why this show thrives. No one wants unfairness. We all agree on that. We don't want to be cheated and lied to and ripped off. You know, when you go to a chiropractor's office, like Stem Cell Institute of America, if you go there and you go to Dr. Dean Jones, he's going to tell you that he has real stem cell therapy, and he's lying to you. He lied to me. And it's not real stem cells. We have proven it. We can keep proving it. You need to avoid people who have amniotic fluid and call it stem cells. And, you know, I don't mind saying the truth. Now, you may say, well, Centeno Schultz is advertising, Tom. That's why you're saying this. Well, yeah, they are advertising, but I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true. They have true living stem cells, and they harvest them from you at the time of injection. Any medical office, any office that harvests the stem cells from you at the time of the injection, they're doing living stem cells. Any office that ships in amniotic fluid, they're not doing stem cell therapy. It's that easy. So it doesn't matter if somebody's advertising or not. The truth doesn't change. Centeno Schultz, if you want to be evaluated, here's the good part. They say about only 20% of the people are eligible for stem cells because it won't work in other cases. And they're just going to be honest with you. So what if you go to Centeno Schultz and you're not a candidate for stem cells? They're going to recommend something else, maybe PRP or some other therapy, because they are MDs, they are doctors, and they're not pushing any one particular therapy. Centeno Schultz, 303-963-9201. You can also look them up as Regenex. 303-963-9201. So, our common man today, Joel Schott, a longtime listener. Actually, he's a construction inspector. He also lives in the Springs. He has 3 kiddos. How old are your kids there? Joel?
I have a son that's 12, daughter that's 10, and a daughter that's 7.
Okay,
so,
great ages. Fun ages.
Yes,
fun ages.
They just got out for some, out of school, so they're.
At what age do your girls know everything? It was for mine. It was she really knew everything at 12.
That's about right.
Absolutely everything.
That's my son. Yeah.
Your son too?
Yeah.
And when do they stop having the wide eyes and go, Daddy, why? Really? How about this? Really? To no, Dad.
11.
No, Mom. This is the way it is. This is the way it is. Dwayne, welcome. What's going on with you? Oh, hold on a sec. Henry, we did not forget about you on that. I thought weren't we calling
Clint's
someone?
Calling,
yeah,
Tom.
Clint's calling on that. So on the Big O Tire thing. So Dwayne, what's happening?
Yes, sir. Good morning, Tom.
Hey, good morning, and how can we help you? This is a consumer show, so let's do it.
All right, sir. I contacted a company through Craigslist sometime back in October 18th of 2017, and they advertise locally on their ad, and I called several other ads, and then I called them. They seemed personable enough, and they
you know, I ask why do people go to Craigslist, and I'll tell you why. They're convenient, they're ubiquitous, they're all over the place. Nothing wrong with Craigslist in and of itself. The problem is anyone can advertise there for anything, and you don't know you're getting someone good or bad or indifferent, and most of the time it's a scam, but that doesn't mean there aren't good people there.
Do you remember the Craigslist killer?
Yeah, I know.
In a serious, I mean, this guy was listing stuff. He'd have hookers come to the hotel and kill him.
Mark.
It's not good.
Now listen.
It's bad.
No, hold on. Hold on. You hit a really a nerve here, because our colleague here was murdered by the Craigslist murder.
I didn't know that.
In New York City.
For real? Who?
My God, it's tragic. George Weber.
He was killed by the Craigslist killer.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
He was tied up and slashed. It was terrible. I worked with him at the time.
Oh, my God, I had no idea.
Because, you know, he had moved away from Denver. He'd moved to San Francisco. Then he was in New York City at WABC, and I was there with my syndicated show, of course. Oh, it was a terrible thing that happened. But by the way, you're right, Mark, there is a safety issue. There are other issues. So, Dwayne, when you called October 18th, 2017, what exactly did you have done?
I called them on a high cube container, one of their bigger ones.
What are you talking about? What is a high tube container?
A high cube container is a storage container.
You were going to do a storage and move, or just storage?
Well, I own a painting company, and I do a lot of refurbishing during the winter months, and I store them for springtime. Like now, I should be selling all the stuff I could have done.
All right, let's get to the problem. What's the problem?
The problem is the container is advertised as wind and water tight, and when they delivered it, the day they delivered it, I rejected it, but they wouldn't come get it. There's a hole in the roof of that thing, probably the size of a quarter or 50-cent piece, and there's rust so bad on this thing, it's a danger to be out here, even around this thing.
Wait, so they delivered it October 18th, 2000, whatever, or October something, and they never came back and got it?
Well, what I did is I ordered the container.
Dwayne, just for some help here, if you give me the answer, then you can give me details. Did they pick it up or not?
No.
Is it still there?
Yes.
I can't freaking believe this.
So, Tom, this is one of those containers that they ship from overseas. You know, you buy them like 40 feet long, 20 feet long.
It looks like a railroad car.
That's right.
Okay, so keep going, Dwayne.
Okay, I talked to them in detail as to the quality of the container.
It's still there. They've literally forgotten about it.
Well, they tried to do a lot of manipulation, like try to hire a local welder here. From the pictures I sent them.
But when was the last time you heard from them?
Right now it's through my attorney. That's how I'm not talking to them at all.
Hold on.
I'm in litigation against them.
Wait a minute. What did you sue them for?
Well, I'm approaching that union right now with my attorney.
Well, hold on. It's been a year almost. I need to know this. Did they ever try to charge you, or did you pay anything?
Oh yeah, I paid up front. I paid and cleared. How
much?
The check before the thing was even
How
delivered
much?
to my house, it was paid for.
How much?
$3,600. It was a little over 30. Yeah.
So right now, you have an attorney. Why would you hire an attorney over a $3,600 deal? Why would you do that?
Because there's so much loss of my income. There's been...
You're not going to get loss of income from these people, in my opinion. I mean, I'm not giving you what a judge might say, but here's the way I look at it. First of all, you get to mitigate your losses. And if you bought something that wasn't adequate or rented it, then you either rent something else or you try to make that work. But you don't throw your hands in the air and just start saying you lost income. I mean, did your attorney actually say that you had a case for lost income?
Yes.
Well, then you ought to stay with him, but I'm going to tell you something right now, Dwayne. In my opinion, he's a moron. Tell me on what planet do you believe, how you make the argument to me, why do they owe you lost income? You tell me why. Just make the case.
Well, because they fictitiously advertised wind and waterproof containers.
Now, you got the container, and you found it was not wind and water tight. Okay, hold on. So, how does that translate to lost income? I'm still waiting.
okay, because the container was used for my business for the purpose of doing work in the container in a contained area where it's not getting wet. And then when I'm done with my work, it'll be dry and not get wet.
Okay, so when you found that did not work, you just stopped working.
No, I kept going. I had to throw tarps over it. I had to.
Okay, so you kept going. So how did it cost you income? I'm getting back to that again. You could have had it repaired. In other words, let's just say lost income. Add it all up. What does it amount to? What do you think they owe you just in lost income? There's got to be a number. What is it?
There is $4,600 roughly right now.
Okay, now, so how much do you think it would have cost to fix the hole in that?
I had a welder, that they tried to get a hold of where
I'm asking you a price. I don't need the story, the price. What do you think it would have cost? There's a number.
There ain't no number because you can't weld rust.
Okay, so it was so rotten he couldn't weld it. Gotcha. Now, what would prevent you from working around that or using another container? What I'm getting at is this, Dwayne. Let me just be straight with you. I can't help you get lost income, and I think your attorney is misleading you, because you can't throw up your hands in the air and accuse them of lost income. What if, I mean, it is so unconscionable. What if your lost income, because of that, you couldn't do a job that would have led to another job that would have been $1 million? Do they owe you $1 million?
No, they don't owe me $1 million.
Okay, no, I'm trying to show you the ridiculousness of lost income. It must be something that absolutely, really prevented you from making a living.
Right. Well, I had contracts that was on time frame to get this business open.
Okay. And once this came with a hole in it, what size was the hole?
There's several. There's the biggest one.
So you had, in essence, something you could not use, so therefore you breached all of those contracts.
Yes.
Okay. Dwayne, I wish you the best of luck. You stay with that attorney, because if he tells you that, at least he's telling you what you want to hear. I can't do it.
Guys from out of state in Colorado, and they're from some other state. They're from California. How do they do that?
Dwayne, you have an attorney. He knows how to sue them. But Dwayne, you have $4,600 in lost income, right? Is that what you have? Yeah. And what else do you have? What are your other losses?
The container itself, it's worthless.
Yeah, but and you paid how much for that? 36?
He's probably got a case on the container.
For sure he does. For sure he does. And some inconvenience because he couldn't get another one in there.
Can you imagine
I'm not going to sit here and try to help the guy with a claim for lost. I can't do it. I can't in good conscience do it. If you want your $3,600 back plus some damages, maybe. I don't even know. Mark, I mean, how much room, Dwayne, does it hold? How much room does it take up in your back there? Or wherever it is. Is it impossible to get another container? If you could have hired another container, is it impossible?
No, it's not impossible to get another container.
Then you could have gotten another from another company and kept working while you're fighting this one.
Yes.
Okay, then how do you attribute the lost income to them? You might have had a week. I can see you going after something for that inconvenience. But you could have hired... Dwayne, listen, and I swear to God, I am not trying to give you a hard time. And anyone listening that thinks I'm giving them a hard time, please tune out, because that's not what I do. I swear to God, I am here to help. How do I help someone when they start off on the wrong premise? He had a container he could not use. The very worst case scenario is get a whole container, another one, from another company and not use that one and fight that battle while you're working. But you can't just try to sue for all of the income. Well, you can if you get a moron attorney who tells you that. So you are going to sue for basically what? $8,200.
Well,
$8,200.
It's worse than that, because in his mind, he still hasn't mitigated any damages. He could hang on to this bad container for the next 10 years and go after 10 years of unearned income.
That's what I'm getting at, Dwayne. I'm sorry. I can't. I really mean this. I can't help you because you have a faulty premise. I can't help you. Because I won't go after lost income and stuff. 303-713-TALK. Now, there are times when people do have loss of income because they're injured or something, okay? Yeah, they have loss, and somebody was negligent in injuring them. 303-713-8255. If you are looking for wholesale material, below wholesale, floors like hardwood, laminates, tile, if you're looking for granite, cabinets of all kinds, plumbing fixtures, and also lighting fixtures that are probably a tenth of the cost of anywhere else, a tenth. I did a garage with beautiful shaker cabinets and granite, a garage. Why? Because it only cost me like $2,400 for a giant garage worth of cabinets and beautiful granite worktop. That would have cost me $24,000 with Home Depot. Yeah, that's buyandbuild.net, buyandbuild.net. He is at 4800 Washington Street, a big giant warehouse packed with deals. Buyandbuild.net, 4800 Washington Street.
It's just bullshit. What happened to the call you made?
I call it. It makes perfect sense.
Wait, here's what you have to do. Do me a favor, because I'm an airhead. When you make a call, come back in and just tell me I got that call. I need that call.
What was it?
Interrupt me if you have to.
Oh, the guy was having the rear brakes locking up on the thing. They took it in, and when they opened it up, it needed all brakes.
Yeah, they said it's been back 5 times.
And idler arms.
This is Big O, right?
Yeah, Big O. And they got all the stuff fixed. He took it out, and it started. The squealing he's hearing is ceramic brakes breaking.
No.
They're making a little bit of noise. They took
not that long, brother.
Cheap fucking brake pads.
Well, they said they're full ceramics that they put on. They'll put organics on if he wants, but they put these most expensive pads on. Anyway, they're making a little bit of noise, but that's not the real problem. It's still locked. The rear brakes are still locking up. So he stopped at Big O in Pueblo, and they said maybe they're adjusted too tight. They backed them off, still locking up. They took it up to them. They checked it, and they said, well, wait a minute, you got a whole bunch of ABS lights on here. And so they tried adjusting, they had to replace the ABS module, which stopped the locking up, which is a big
So they don't want to pay for that?
Pay for what?
That's part of that $1,800, isn't it? He's got into it?
Yeah, the original was $1,100, and the second one was for the second cost was the ABS.
So it is fixed now?
It's fixed.
Is that what he said on air?
No.
He said the only thing, what is he saying, no?
Well, I thought I talked to him and stuff.
They drove it, and they said it's still, every once in a while, it's making a little squeak in those ceramic pads. They said if it still makes them, they'll put organics on for them, they'd be glad to. They'll make the wheels turn black and whatever, but...
He says it shudders and squeaks. That's what he told me. I mean...
Well, it's easy to test drive and tell. It's either pulsating and squeaking or not.
Yeah, well, once they put the ABS module on, they said it's fine. That was originally the problem in the beginning. It was causing them to lock up.
Were the new rotors put on too?
New rotors, new calipers, new pads in the front, new drums, brakes in the back.
You know how much those calipers are for that and the rotors? I bet those rotors are $12-14 cost. I bet the calipers are about $35 cost.
Is that what calipers are? They're that cheap?
On that bit.
The Chinese ones,
Yeah, made in Mexico or something like that.
Especially those GMs, because they fit 9,000 different models.
It's just so
they fit from like 82
so much money in them.
Yeah.
Great job.
But it needed idler arms, suspension parts, and tie rod ends.
Did they do all that?
Yeah, they did all that in the original 1100.
So actually, that's not horrible.
So he needs to go back and get the other...
If he wants the other pads.
You own the Goodyear, is that right?
5 of them.
You know, I've dealt with Big O's too, and they better go backwards.
Well, most of them are, they're all individually built for the most part.
This is the one in Evans, and he said, no, we'd be glad to put the other pads in. He wanted the ceramics. So he said, you know, when they made
their business model's very tough. You pay basically 3% of gross. At least it used to be.
To Big O Corporation? Or?
Yeah. To the franchisee.
I mean, my calls this morning is just like,
and Tom's a little hard to explain what it is. I guess he doesn't have the update on the Pueblo thing. There's 2 updates on Pueblo.
Hey, babe.
Yeah.
I had somebody email saying when they go to the referral list, the new referral list, and watch live, you can't watch live from that link.
Okay, I'll look at it right now.
He says it's just a recorded show.
Oh, so that...
Go up,
so it's,
watch live at the top.
So it's a different, we're going to put a different...
That's from 2 weeks ago, that video.
Email me the actual thing.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Well, the YouTube?
Say it again.
I got to go to YouTube and do the embedded code.
Yeah, grab me the code and email it to me. Are you saying, but I thought the YouTube one never changes, right?
No, the Facebook never changes now.
The YouTube one you gotta do each day?
Yes.
All right, so you'll have to continue to do it each day, just not in the new site.
I did it.
Yeah, but this is the new site.
Okay.
I know what you're saying.
Oh, so what you want me to send you, then I'll send you
The new site.
Yeah, the new site.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah, send it to me, and I'll embed it into the new site.
Ocamsolar.com/troubleshooter. That's ocamsolar.com/troubleshooter. Results in just 20 minutes.
Michael Brown, afternoons 4 to 7. It's like a variety show. News, culture, Hollywood, and food. And it's all served with a touch of sarcasm, humor, and seriousness. Join me at 4 o'clock from wherever Talk Radio.
Okay, let's see something.
Rocky's Autos, 63rd and Federal. They're open tonight and all week until 7, and then on Saturdays till 6, open at 9 in the morning. Huge selection of cars, trucks, SUVs, and vans, and for the summer they have convertibles, they have their coupes, and of course they always have their, their supply of the SUVs and four-wheel drives. Great stuff at Rocky's, including a great variety in financing. 303-426-4646. Prices are always clearly marked, and you can get higher trade values because they sell most trades right there. And prices are also at rockysautos.com. So we have a situation. I don't want to give Dwayne a hard time. I told him I couldn't help him with lost income. I think he should get his money back and maybe some damages. I mean, he's had a container there almost a year, and it's unusable because it's not airtight and watertight. It's just not watertight, and heck, he does work in there. I will say this, though. Containers, this is another thing. Their intended purpose are not to be used as workshops.
No.
So they could argue that, look, that's not our intended purpose, although they do advertise that they're watertight.
Can you imagine if you got into a fender bender with your neighbor and they couldn't go to work that day, but they never decided to get their car fixed because they couldn't find the right body shop, and then came after you for a year or two for not working?
Listen,
I mean,
Mark,
I don't understand where he's coming from.
We had a guy one time who had his roof damaged and did not patch it, and wanted the insurance to pay for all the interior damage as well. It's just not going to happen. You must. This is clearly something that has been proven over and over again. You must mitigate or lessen your loss if you can. Okay? Reasonableness. You have to mitigate your loss. You can't just let it keep piling up and do nothing about it. Now, this problem with Big O Tires, Deputy Clint called, and here the original situation he called about was 10 times for the same problem. Right? No, is it 5 times? I'm sorry. I got, Jarrett was the other one. I'm sorry. That's the different one. Okay, so basically what did they say over there at Big O?
When it came in the first time, it came in needing really, it had $135,000.
And he spent $1,800, he said, on his Astrovan.
Well,
right?
the first time around was $1,100, but that was brakes, suspension, front and rear brakes.
Right.
And it was also every once in a while grabbing in the back, which, they thought they had out in Warner heat.
And they said it needed a computer for $500 something.
Well, after they did it, it started the grabbing on the back again, after they'd already done brakes. So they checked it, and it was the ABS module. They tried to back off down in Pueblo and at their shop the rear brakes, because sometimes that'll stop that. It didn't work, so they had to put an ABS module in. That's where it got up to $1,800. And now he's still having some squeaking, but...
Is it a different than the original one? That's what I want to know. Henry, is it the same exact problem from the beginning, or has it changed?
Exact problem. It's screeching and pulsating.
And they are saying it's a break-in period, and I don't think that's right.
Well, Henry,
No.
I talked to him. They said if you come back, they'll take off those ceramic pads and put organic pads on.
I don't think he's saying it's the same exact problem as before. And he said he was always having that screeching, right?
It's screeching loud.
But is it identical to what... See, you brought it in originally. You brought it in originally for pulsating and screeching, right?
Yes, right.
And the same screeching and the same pulsating is still going on, right?
Yes, it is.
So, Clint, that doesn't sound like break-in to me. It sounds like Big O is giving you a reasonable explanation, but I don't think they truly know. Because if a guy is in there 5 times, you know what? I'd give him one more time with us watching now, Henry. I'd go over and say, look, please drive the car with me and listen. Just let him listen to it.
We could take it back, but it's the only vehicle we have.
Well,
I'm a disabled veteran, and my
well,
wife,
Henry, though that part. I mean, well, what were you hoping we'd say? I mean, other than they will take really, what do you want? What do you want?
Well,
if you don't want to take it back for them to fix it, what do you want?
Oh, we want the brakes fixed.
Okay, so hold on. Okay, we're with you on it. So they want to go. They say they're going to take care of you, and they're. So now you know that in order to, you said yourself just now, I want my brakes fixed, and you know you have to take it back to have it get fixed, right?
Right.
Yes.
Okay, so I don't know what you mean by, well, we can't because it's our only car. You either can get it fixed or you can't. There's no in between. I don't know what else to tell you. Now, Henry, you're disabled now as a veteran, and do you have like disability income? Is that how you don't have to get to a job, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you're fine with them fixing it, but I don't think they're going to take several days to get it fixed. You know, we called and they said they would get right on it.
They said they'd make it right, no matter what they had to do.
And so what I would do is go over while the iron's hot. You know what I'm saying?
The one thing I don't like is how they want to put organics on there. You can buy very good ceramic pads that aren't going to squeak, but you can buy cheap ones too.
Here's what I don't like. I don't like that they're saying to him, we'll just put a different pad on it. That's obviously not the problem. Those pads, I mean, he's having the same exact problem as he had in the beginning. Clint, I really believe you need to tell them that. You know, really, when they say, well, it's the pads, say, look, he took it in and is having the same exact problem. It's not a new problem. I don't like when they discount what people are saying. Henry, just hang tight. But no matter what, Henry, when we do get him teed up, you're going to have to go and get it done, okay?
Right.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I will fit in. I'm going to get a hold of my niece and see if I can borrow one of her vehicles, and I will take it in either today or tomorrow.
Okay. Now listen. Here's the deal. I know what you're saying. You're sick and tired of it, Henry. And it's like, why bring it in again? We've already been there 4 or 5 times. All I can say is this. Henry, somehow when we get involved, you get a supervisor or someone taking an extra look at it, and things magically get done. I think that sometimes people fall through the cracks. They just do. And you know, the purpose of this show is to help light a fire, we call it. So we're going to just hang on until he calls them again. What I don't like is when people don't listen. When businesses don't listen to the consumer and they just keep saying the same thing over and over. Well, it needs to break in. But it's the same problem. It's not a new problem. It's the same problem. How coincidental would that be that new pads make the same exact sound as you were making before you had all that work done? It just doesn't sound right. Now, Matt needs advice on how to value a vehicle they inherited. That's a very good question. We also have some lines open at 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. I am very excited, Mark. I am going to Colorado Tinnitus and Hearing Center, and I'm going to do a free test trial on some digital hearing aids that interface with my iPhone. You know, why do you even need an interface with a cell phone? Well, you can take calls on it. Imagine that, really, with just, you have hearing aids in anyway, so now you can take calls. But here's something else. Do you know you can adjust hearing aids to be more sensitive or less sensitive? You can also play soothing sounds for those who have tinnitus. These are specially made to help, they calm your nerves down inside your ears so the tinnitus eventually is ignored. They have other kinds of tinnitus treatment as well. Go see Colorado Tinnitus and Hearing Center. Dr. Patty and Dr. Lisa have been doing this for years. They have the new digital hearing aids that interface with your smartphone. They have Desynchro, which is a permanent tinnitus treatment. Again, I'll be starting that up again. I got the kit like a couple years ago, but I never started that program. I'll be reporting on that. 303-534-0163, helpforringing.com.
This is Denver's Talk Station. More with Martino.
I have tinnitus. I've never been to a doctor. The ringing's always there.
Is it like when it's silent mostly, right?
I hear it right now, even right now.
And do you hear, is it a high pitch?
It's a high pitch ring, yep.
I hate that shit.
What do you think caused yours?
I don't know. I know, like, well, growing up in Texas, you fireworks all the time. So, I mean, we were, you don't have that here. I mean, I guess you can go to Wyoming.
Oh, you mean literally you do it?
Oh, yeah. We'd be throwing fireworks and then artillery shells just right, 5 feet from it. And then maybe I had a boom box in my car when I was 16. Could have done it.
For me, it was the tractor seat.
Yes. The tractor seat?
No,
gonorrhea.
No, I was on a farm, and that's what it was. You're sitting in a tractor.
Riding a bicycle down.
But it doesn't bother me.
I've learned to ignore it.
Oh, it is. It's,
yeah.
The only thing is I miss hearing stuff in that range that it does.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens to you.
That's what happens. When I'm tuning you out, I'm not tuning you out. You're actually talking in the tune of my tinnitus.
Your tune.
Did yours happen at a later age in life?
No, I was 16.
16? Well, okay. Yeah, I'd say mine happened in mid-20s probably.
I remember, because you used to, if you stayed on a lot of tractor, your ears would be ringing for a couple days and then go away. Just like you went to concert.
Exactly. Yeah, same thing.
They go away.
Yeah.
I remember one day
it didn't go away.
Never went away.
Mine was after my first kid was born. So.
My dad went to a hearing doctor, and he said, "If it's ringing all the time, how do you know it's ringing?" That's what his doctor told him.
He's a moron.
I know, of course. But that was 40 years ago, 50 years ago.
Wait,
it's actually a good answer, though.
It sounds like it's in the middle of your head. Eventually,
my right side. Okay. This is where I had my mastoiditis. And you know what? I can change the sound when I do this. It goes.
Oh, you can push on your in your skull. Yeah, you can.
It goes higher.
Yep, it goes higher. Same with mine. Yeah.
Yeah. It does.
I
never did that.
I didn't know that either.
Hey, make it play tunes.
Yeah. Make it a solid point.
Why are you banging your head? Hey, I'm playing the tune.
I hate it. It's like my ears got plugged and never went back to normal.
I wonder why some people...
They're not plugged, but it's that feeling you get sometimes when you plug your...
But I know some people... My brother hears like crickets. He really
like a little chirping?
Yeah.
That's happened every now and then. And when that happens, it feels like it's...
that would drive me... Mine was just a constant.
James Big O drove this, had nothing that you could see wrong with it, but he says it's fine, bring it back, we'll be glad.
Where does this guy live?
Evans, Greeley, the
poor guy, I can see him.
He's in Greeley, the Big O's in Evans.
I'd love to test drive it.
Yeah, me too, but I wish it was here. My son has a
there's something wrong with it.
No, he's not. You think he's a nut?
When you talk to him and it's all over the place and stuff,
he's just so pissed now.
I should say a nut. He just really doesn't. I don't think it's the exact same thing.
I don't like how you refer to people as
nuts. Yeah, I don't either. It's very unkind.
I don't.
Take gentle and kind excuses.
Okay, I'm going to
make him
be my mentor. My nut mentor.
You got to start making him cry.
I'm getting them nuts for lunch.
My nut detector doesn't go off. You can't call it nuts.
I had an owner of a Big O. He owns a few Big O's in the state.
Yeah.
Not of that particular one, but he was like, look, if regional should be getting them a rental or something that they could use while their vehicle's getting fixed, and if we need any help with that, we can call him, okay?
Okay.
He said he would even reach out to the owner of the Big O too.
Okay.
A really nice guy. So I'll give you
I
that after
talked
the
to
show.
the guy at the shop manager there. He says, I drove this thing, and I said, I can't find anything.
Okay, let's be sure to update that so we can kill these people.
Okay.
Kill him. Jeez.
Whoa!
He's calling him nuts. She wants to kill him.
I make him cry, and then she wants to kill him.
My God, am I the only sane one here?
You're right on it, though.
Times when I scream it out.
That's what I'm supposed to do, is run back there and try to resolve. A lot of
You do know my name.
Oh, yeah, I do right here on the left. I do right away as soon as I hear it. So
He plays a lot of pocket pool, too, so
Well, I was pointing under the counter when we first got here.
Don't let them pull that trick is, I know what's in your pocket.
Exactly, yeah. I'm on it now. Yeah.
Who did they say cut a hole in his pocket and he had people reaching in there? It was like a celebrity recently.
That could be Pee Wee Herman, right?
Oh, no, that one Christmas I grew up, we were so poor. My mom cut the holes out of my pocket, so that's something.
You know, whenever I have my kids, overnight, which is, obviously about a lot, I say, do you have your myo brace in? And you have to wear that overnight. That's a soft mouthpiece that they wear. Their teeth are becoming straighter and straighter over time without braces. It's called the new orthodontics. It's for kids. Now, they have a form for adults, but right now I'm going to talk about the kids because I want you to check it out. Now, they wear these, and then when it comes time for braces, they only need them like a third of the time, maybe not at all. My daughter may not need them at all. My son might just need them half time. So the whole program from beginning to end is done with a monthly payment. The monthly payment is, for both kids right now, $280, and it covers all their orthodontics. That's for 2 kids. So what happens is after several months of the mouthpieces, then they go to the braces. No surgeries, no extractions. 303-690-0400. Look for NEO, N-E-O, capital N, capital E, capital O, NEO, and it stands for New Early Orthodontics. New Early Orthodontics. They're at the near Park Meadows. NewEarlyOrthodontics.com. If you want to get your kids, you're going to save a lot of money over braces, a lot, because it's a more thorough use of these mouthpieces without the need for braces for a long time and all that adjusting and all those years and years. NewEarlyOrthodontics.com. So Henry, listen, man, we're going back and forth here, okay? We talked to Big O, and the guy says, look, we understand what Henry's saying, but we drove this thing ourselves. Now, did one guy drive it, Henry, when you were there, or he must have done it on his own? But Clint, they swear that they think this car is fine, but they're going to give it another try, right?
They said they'll give it whatever it takes till he's happy with it. So,
what I'd like, Henry, is you are far away, right?
No, it's up the block a little bit.
Off of where?
We live about 3 blocks from Big O Tires here in Evans.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I mean. So I thought you were driving into town because I wanted to literally have one of our people ride with you. But go back to that shop. Who should they talk to, Clint? James. James. Thank you, Clint. Talk to James, and please get back to us on it, okay? What's going on with Clark? Welcome, Clark. And how can we help you, sir? Are you there, Clark? Sounds dead to me.
Hello?
Yeah, there you are, brother. Hey, by the way, you just have to humor me. Did you have us on hold?
Yeah, yes, I did. I'm sorry about that.
No, that's okay. Are you on a cell phone?
Yes, I am.
How did you put us on hold where we couldn't hear anything? Did you mute it?
Yeah, I muted it.
Okay, cool. So what's going on, Clark?
My wife and I, the other night, we were walking our dogs, and we live in Colorado Springs, and they're doing construction on the street, and the pavement is uneven, and there's no sign stating that, the pavement is uneven or anything, and she tripped and fell. She busted up her knee pretty bad.
Yeah. Now, wait a minute. You say there's construction. Is it an active construction site?
Yes. Yeah, like they have orange cones. They have orange cones on the street, but on the main street, though.
Okay, so she fell. It was dark, right?
Right. Yeah, it was around.
What did she fall? Was it a sidewalk?
No, it was in the actual street because the sidewalk is closed. They have a sign.
And the street itself.
Yeah.
Was there a hole or something she fell into?
No, it's just they have a uneven pavement. Like it's like they cut a chunk of the road out.
Okay.
Something like that.
Did they have any? They had yellow cones up to keep traffic off of that. Was it a designated walking area is what I'm asking?
No, it was the street. It was
okay, in other words, sometimes when a sidewalk is closed, they rope off an area for people to walk. What I'm getting at is this. If it wasn't meant to be walked on, they can't very well be blamed for something that's uneven to walk on. What was this area? What was it? Was it an area to walk on, or was it just off the sidewalk? Can you explain?
Yeah, well, see, it was a residential street, and they have signs on the sidewalk saying that the sidewalk is closed.
Okay, that's it. Just sidewalk is closed.
Right.
And so you guys walked, you hopped down the curb and walk on the street itself.
Correct.
And as she's walking, she trips in an uneven spot. Were there other areas to walk in?
No, because the sidewalk is roped off. So
was there a sidewalk on the other side of the street?
It's on both sides of the street where it says the sidewalk is closed.
Okay, so maybe I'm even asking the wrong question. John Fuller, maybe I'm playing amateur attorney here and being stupid, because I'm wondering, you know, streets are not necessarily made to be walked on. Can they fault them for having unevenness that caused them to trip? Or is it reasonable to assume they're going to walk in the street sometimes, especially when the sidewalks are closed? And then we get all to that premises. This is the state, which is another thing that complicates things. But first, let's take private property, John. What if he was walking on private property and something caused him to trip and fall because it was uneven?
So you're hitting on all the issues there, Tom. The first part of the analysis is always going to be, you know, who the landowner is, and then secondly, whether there's any sort of protection that's afforded that landowner by virtue of their status. And in premises cases, those two can have a huge impact on what the difference is. Firstly, if it's truly private property and stuff, we judge their liability by basically a new or should have known standard with regard to dangerous conditions. So if it's a condition that they should have known of or that they've had prior problems with, we're going to probably be able to hold the landowner liable for that dangerous condition. But if that same piece of property happens to be owned by a state or a municipality,
which in this case it is,
yeah, we then raise that standard up to an actual knowledge standard, meaning you have to prove and this is a really important characteristic, you have the burden of proving that they had actual knowledge. And that's a huge burden to undertake.
Well, let's just speed right through this, John. It's uneven pavement, and can't they hide behind the normal indemnification? All municipalities are indemnified against damages resulting from the normal maintenance and upkeep of municipal properties.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right, Tom. Generally speaking, they are. And there are exceptions. I mean, they can't get around having obviously dangerous conditions present on their property just via the governmental immunity. So there is some relief, but it's a pretty high standard, and it results in, for most people, the inability to bring a claim.
What are your damages? Let's just sum that up. What are your damages?
Well, she busted up her knee pretty good.
So how much? How much? I mean, really, and I mean this because we have to get right down to it. What are her total damages?
Her body is really sore. She can't move.
Does she have $10,000 in bills?
Possibly. I mean, maybe.
Wait. It's not a possibly or maybe. It's either 10,000 or it's not. Like, has she been to a doctor?
No.
Okay. Well, here's the deal, okay? She has to go to a doctor first and foremost, and then also, you know, you have to have some kind of quantified damage. I think, in a nutshell, John Fuller, I think this is a lost cause. I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
I can at least tell you that in 10 out of 10 cases, if we don't have medical treatment and objectively identifiable damages, there is no case. Principle alone does not justify a case. Bumps and bruises don't justify a case. Those kind of issues just don't justify the expense and the risk and the time that's involved to litigate a case. And almost every premises liability case I've had in the 16 years of my career has gone into litigation.
Because so it's the most difficult one to prove, right?
Yeah, you bet. You have to start with that in mind. And if you don't have the goods, you
Right.
just better not be playing in that field.
Bottom line, Clark, really? I mean, she hasn't even been to a doctor, but let's say she does want to bring damages. It is a municipality, and they are immune from the get-go unless it is egregious. You have to prove they knew not about uneven pavement, but they knew it was dangerous.
That's the work we're probably doing.
Yes.
Down in Springs, yeah. What I do.
Is it fair? No, but it's
So they should go to you.
the way it is.
Yeah.
Give them his
Well,
number.
Well, yeah, I guarantee you what's going on with that neighborhood. They're milling the streets, so they've got millers out there. They're milling it 2 to 3 inches out. Yep.
And you don't put signs out?
No, there's signs out. There'll be, like you said, sidewalk. Oh yeah, right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, the signs are all over the place. So,
But with the street roto mill, technically the street's not closed because you can drive on the
But it was
street.
dark.
You can, but you got to wait till
Signs weren't
the equipment's
fluorescent.
moved.
Yeah.
How could we see it was dark?
You got to have a flashlight.
Does Exxon have a dividend?
Yes.
What is it, do you know?
It's not, it's probably 3 or 4%.
AT&T is dividends.
So Mark spends most of his time in here working the stock market.
Yeah, I noticed that.
But he
You
does
have a
really, really
large
well.
portfolio.
Hey, where did you go to get that?
And he's really good at it.
Seems like he's good.
So this is where I normally go to edit that. Did you do edit over here?
Oh, watch and listen. No. This is a whole new site. I'll have to set you up.
Okay.
Good question.
It's spectacular. It's not
Spectacular.
Yeah, it does. It does.
In fact, I'll set you up with username and password right now.
More interesting stuff. None of these today have been really.
Write this down. Username.
A little container for.
Mark is great.
Medication.
I'm just kidding. I'm working.
I've had 6 back surgeries, pain management. This is all shark bite, brown recluse, rattlesnake bites, struck by lightning, run over by a truck.
And this was all over the
I'm
weekend.
still here, so this is all. Actually, I broke it with
There was
color.
some lady that was coming in here like that did this.
This was all on the way to
With a
work.
guy. Yeah, didn't work. Didn't work with anybody.
I still do it.
Is
What about the lady that was like she was Gaia with the earth, and she just traveled in her
Oh,
car?
right, healing the earth. What are you making fun of her for?
No, I'm not making fun of her.
What did you do?
The woman that drives around healing the earth. Mark loved her.
Oh, she was.
Whoa, I don't remember that.
Did she come in?
Oh, come on. She had 300,000 miles on her car, or she drives around healing the earth. God sends her on missions.
Yeah, she called and complained about you.
he was on a mission from God.
Oh yeah.
Seriously.
She said, yeah, Mark is a
You don't remember that.
Talk to you.
One of the rare times you're gone.
She was a nut.
Maybe.
See, there you could use nut without getting in trouble. She was a nut.
No, you can't.
She's not on that?
She was a total fucking nut.
Listen,
In my opinion.
says people who have not had their earth healed around them.
That's true. That's true. I've yet to have my earth healed.
My earth is still working, so it must be healed.
My earth field wasn't around me this weekend. I'm playing with the dog, trying to cross the road, busted my toe.
The dog busted your toe?
No, I busted my toe tripping on the coffee table chasing the dog.
How'd you know your toe busted?
I broke those my toes.
Where the hell's the users?
I think you didn't have feeling down my left.
No, it's my left foot. I was feeling it.
Who made the coffee table?
Yeah,
You can go after them.
Actually, I'm pretty sure it was made in Mexico.
Okay.
It was a coffee table book.
Oh, that's a sign though.
Was that what they were doing?
A book
And what program did he go on to show? He spilled coffee all over who?
Kathy Lee, somebody Kathy Lee.
What are you talking about? The puffy shirt?
Coffee table book.
And then he had a puffy shirt that day, right?
No, that was a different one. That was on that
Get your Seinfeld trivia together, buddy.
there on the puffy shirt. It was Regis and Kathy Lee. That's what he was on. And what got him kicked off the show there?
That.
No. What did he do that they got all pissed off at him?
They spilled coffee all over.
No, he didn't spill. They put it on there and he was drinking, and then he blew, it was too hot, blew coffee over everybody. Kramer did. And they wouldn't let him do his book tour anymore. Kramer. No. I don't know how.
I liked when he did the
He was the best actor of that whole group. Kramer, don't you think?
Oh God.
I mean, he played that
character.
Yeah, yes. Best. Well, he played the best character, but he played so well.
He was over the top.
He was over the top.
Yeah.
Ideal home loans for your next ideal home loan. Whether you're refinancing or purchasing, you'll never go wrong with Ideal. 3-week close or less, and their pre-approval is like a cash deal. But what I really love, because it's approved. You're approved, ready to go. You just need the appraisal and stuff. And here's the deal, too. When you close with them, you will have an interest rate guarantee. If they go down by just 0.75% over the next 2 years, you are covered for a free refinance. Okay, 303-713-8255. IdealHomeLoans.com. IdealHomeLoans.com. Ideal Home Loans for your next ideal home loan, okay? We got open lines, except for Matt. I'm going to take Matt right now. He inherited a vehicle, and I asked that you get your calls in, and I promise you we're getting through these pretty quickly. 303-713-TALK or 303-MARTINO, 303-627-8466. So, Matt, what's going on? You inherited a vehicle.
That's correct.
When?
But it had a lien on it 3 weeks ago.
Okay, so it had a lien on it, or it has a lien on it?
It had. Mother-in-law was next of kin, so she ended up paying off the lien with some money from the uncle's IRA. So it's now free and clear.
Okay, hold on. How are you related? How did you inherit it, or did she?
Okay, I am the nephew by marriage. So my wife is the next of kin's daughter.
Okay. So who inherited the car?
My mother-in-law.
Okay, and you want to get her some information, and you need to value the car.
Right.
Okay, it's not that difficult.
We're going to get new tags on it tomorrow. You know how the motor vehicle department is. How much did you pay for this used vehicle?
Well, it doesn't matter how much you paid. You're going to pay the tax based on its value.
Okay.
They're going to value it.
We could say 0. We could say 13,000.
Right. It doesn't matter. No, you will pay sales tax now based on what you paid if it's higher than their value. But if it's lower, you're going to base it on what they say. No, wait. Sales and use tax, two different things. On the sales tax, if you say you only paid $1 for it, it's not going to get you out of paying a reasonable tax. I'm not sure how they do it as far as that goes, but I do know that you just don't get to do that.
Right.
Now, so you just say you inherited it and make them come up with the value. You don't have to. What difference does it make?
Okay.
I mean, because you won't be paying a sales tax. You'll be paying a use tax, ownership tax. See, people often confuse them. There's a sales tax and then there's the ownership tax. We pay ownership tax every year. We only pay sales tax the first year.
Gotcha.
But if you don't pay anything for the car, you don't have a sales tax. I need to ask something, though, because I'm confused now myself. Guys, weigh in on this. I do think you can manipulate the sales tax. You can manipulate the sales tax based on what you paid, but you can't manipulate the use tax or the ownership tax.
That sounds right.
But now,
I'm not sure.
But if you manipulate the sales tax, they're going to be really suspect. But you can do it, because I know why. People have done it before. For example, when they get a discount, it's always been argued, do they pay sales tax on the value or on the discount? They pay sales tax based on what they paid for that car at the time. But they may ask for proof or dispute it if you only say it's $1. So that's it. I would let them worry about the ownership or use tax. They have the tables, and often they undervalue it anyway. I'm Troubleshooter Tom Martino. Stick around for another hour of information.
I wonder why Exxon's down so much today.
I can find out about that quick.
Yeah, I think that people can fool the sales tax.
I'll find out about that.
I'm not saying they should, but I think you can.
I got somebody who's now an expert on bonds to bond cars and knows all this stuff about it.
Find out about sales tax.
Exxon's probably done, of all the majors, worse. How come you didn't tell them about that? If they bought that special license plate, they wouldn't have to pay that user's tax.
Yeah. What's that?
If they bought that special license plate, they wouldn't have to pay that.
It's in the Colorado
CRS.
Wait, you don't have to pay a use tax?
Right, your Euro tax.
If you get that special license plate that one guy called in and told us about. Don't you remember him?
Oh, that's right. What a fucking nut. You're right.
He was selling that to people.
What happened to the one guy in Florida that calls you up sometimes and always has some weird shit to say?
New Jersey.
That guy.
He's listening right now, guaranteed.
He says, where do I go on the website? Because the state of Colorado took it out of the...
You have to pay to get the actual written copy. The one on the internet is not correct.
That's right, that's right. That's what it was.
So they tried to charge you.
So they wanted you to go look for the right one.
You go find the right
Hey,
one.
real quick question. When somebody buys a vehicle and they pay a lot less for it than book price or whatever, how do they convince motor vehicle to only pay tax on an amount? They have to have a noticeable sale?
And we're not talking about ownership tax. We're talking about sales tax.
Person saying
Well, it has to be.
Okay, so they still, even with the notarized bill of sale, they'll still just...
Notarized bill of sale.
Mm-hmm.
We got notarized
okay,
bill of sale.
So, man, Justice Kennedy said,
okay,
hang on for a two-way street.
Okay. A notarized bill of sale will usually convince them that
cool.
it's less, but she said sometimes they think it's too low, they'll still just go up Blue Book.
Okay, thank you.
Is that all we need? Okay, thanks again.
Wait a minute. There's no way it's arbitrary to the fucking person that makes $15 an hour at DMV, for real? So you go in there...
They said Blue Book.
It's a percentage of it, though, too.
Yeah, so, no. But he's saying if they thought it's too low, they'll go off Blue Book. So it's arbitrary.
They'll normally honor a notarized bill of sale unless they...
Mark, I really think what he's saying is if they think you're pulling a fraud, they're going to just charge you, and then you have to fight it. Because, you know, this shit, when one guy once told me, I want to buy your motorhome. Well, I'll buy the motorhome for this much, and I'll buy all the contents and stuff separately. I said, no, fuck, no, I'm not doing that.
I've had people ask for 2 bills of sale.
I'm not doing that. I will not.
I can't believe it's arbitrary for them, though. That's what I'm
saying. Something I found out, if you go from one DMV desk to the other, you'll get a different, we got 4 different answers about bonding titles.
Try calling the IRS and ask a question.
Yeah, that's why I've got an expert finally on bonding titles. Because and if you don't do it in exact order, you have to go get a verification permit. They'll kick you out of the place. It's very specific.
Government.
And
where other employee can you be identified just by giving a wrong answer?
And this person has the authority to bond on site. They can bond the title as you walk in.
I don't think I'm buying that.
It's the worst.
Which are you getting?
One that's actually.
At 1-800-88.
I think mobile.
So Phillips lost all of the cases before this. He lost in court.
Or
yeah, all the. That's how. Well, I guess you have to lose all of them at the Supreme Court anyway. The appeals.
He lost his business.
He did.
That's what he said, and had to let employees go.
Who's the cake guy?
See, that I think was egregious, and that they should be able to go after.
He says it's not about turning away these customers. It's about doing a cake for an event, a religious, sacred event that conflicts with my conscience.
It's artistic.
He said, I'm not, he didn't want to be part of it. That's it. He said they could buy anything they wanted, or a generic cake.
Just like if you went and hired a painter to paint something that you didn't agree with, the painter doesn't say, no, I'm not going to paint that.
Colorado Public Accommodations Law to compel a local baker to create commercial expression.
The creation thing that they were also, not the actual making it. It was some.
That's what he said. Yeah, he could have bought a cake. He would make him a birthday cake or regular or
anything. He could buy anything off the shelf.
That's right.
But he didn't want him to use his artistic.
You know, this happened before the gay law marriage changed. I wonder if this would be different had it been looked at.
What do you mean the gay law marriage?
Because the law passes doesn't mean you agree with it.
All that meant is they can get married.
2015 was the decision for gay marriage. It said that denying them a legal marriage is a violation of their rights.
Yeah, but what's that got to do with
I can agree with that.
Can they force any doctor? Here's one. Can they force any doctor to do abortion?
Of course not. That's a good one, Dan.
Well, of course.
How would you force a doctor to do abortion? Put a gun to his head?
What I'm saying is that the same thing as making a guy do a cake that he doesn't believe in? I don't know.
That's a really good.
Tom Martino on 630 KHOW.
Help me if you can, I'm feeling down.
Hello, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. This hour brought to you by Fix It 24/7. FixMyHome.com. You will never be disappointed with Fix It 24/7. If you have any problems with plumbing, electrical, cooling, or heating, for $39 you get an expert to your home to diagnose the problem no matter how long it takes. People like to have a finite cost. I do, because I have a little thing I'm worried about right now, and I just thought the other day I'm going to call them. $39, they come and assess it, then give you a full written report. That's all you have to spend ever, unless you have the work done. Then they credit the $39, and if it's around $39, it's almost free. Now, here's the deal. They credit you a real deal on a real deal. You'll never get the same work and product and value done for any cheaper because these guys just go the extra mile. It's a great way to be safe, to find out exactly what's wrong. If you want to shop around, fine. But if you have the work done, they credit you that $39. FixMyHome.com. FixMyHome.com. 720-526-3939. What we do here on this show is help people each and every day, recovering millions of dollars. So let's get right to the phones. For example, Robert has a Verizon wireless issue. Marty wants advice on some paid roofers. Jacob, he wants to talk about a problem with a used car dealer, Birkencotter, and we've heard of these guys before. And then also Kevin has a comment on the sales tax thing. Now, what we found out from our experts is that you have two taxes. You have an ownership tax, which you pay. It's a recurring tax. As the vehicle goes down in value, the tax goes down. Then you have a sales tax based on a sale, and most motor vehicles will take a notarized bill of sale or even a signed bill of sale for the amount that you say you bought it for, and you pay sales tax based on that, based on where you live, and you pay use tax or ownership tax based on its value.
You know what drives me nuts? If you trade in a vehicle, they'll offset that tax on whatever they give you for a trade-in.
Because they figure you already paid that when you bought that car.
Yeah, but if I sell my vehicle to you and then buy a new vehicle, I don't get that credit. It's like these lobbyists are in bed with these guys. It pisses me off.
I think the trade thing makes sense because, you know, it's only the net sale, and you already paid on what you're trading in. But
in what other industry does it work that way? What else? If I go return something I bought at Costco and buy something else, I still pay the full sales tax on the new item.
Yeah, but you get returned the sales tax on what you return. So it's this net same effect. They do, when you do a refund, they give you the sales tax.
No, I understand that. But they don't offset one purchase with the other.
No, but they are in essence doing that because when you return something, you're getting that back plus the sales tax. I know what you're saying.
But once again, what's the difference if I sell you my vehicle, then go buy a new one? Why I can't take that? Just the tracking method isn't there, maybe?
Maybe, because if you sell a vehicle, right?
That's right.
You could claim you sold it for way more than you sold it, and then again, we get into all that crap.
So the tracking.
You know, we had a tough time on one because I traded one vehicle one time. One vehicle for two.
I remember.
So the idea was I got two vehicles, and you could have figured one vehicle paid completely off if you wanted to, with a difference on the other one. But not only did I trade in for two vehicles, I got money back. So I argued no sales tax was due, and they agreed. No sales tax.
Did you end up paying it or no?
Zero sales tax.
Wow.
Because I traded in one car, got two in return plus a check. So there was no sales tax. Kevin, what is your comment on sales tax? Go ahead.
Well, there is such a thing as a gift tax, as you know. I got a car.
What is a gift tax?
Well, my Colorado is a gift tax state.
What does that mean?
I received a car from my girlfriend, which was a 2012 Ford Fusion, and she gave me a gift receipt. And I gave the car to my youngest daughter, and when I went to get the plates, I was charged absolutely zero sales tax.
Yeah, there is no gift tax that I know of, Kevin, so I don't know what you're talking about. If you give me an example of a gift tax that somebody actually pays, give me an example.
Well, I don't know if you can have an example.
There
of a
is no gift
tax.
tax. Like if your parents give you 10 grand, do you pay tax on that?
Well, that's different. I'm talking about a vehicle or something that you pay sales tax on.
Oh, okay. So I see what you're saying. So if a store gave you something or you won something, you would pay sales tax on it.
You would, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. He brings up something. I remember reading the story years ago. Somebody won that showcase showdown on that Price is Right.
Yeah, and you get to pay the tax.
They had to pay sales tax. They couldn't afford it, so they ended up selling and liquidating and paying.
A lot of people, for example, I know a guy that won a brand new Mustang. He had to pay the sales tax on it. And but it's not, I don't know if they call it a gift tax, but I don't think they do. But you're right, though. If your mom gave you a car, there is no tax on it. If they give you a gift, I don't know. Wait, I don't know if items are different than cash. Actually, I know with cash there's no gift tax. You can give as much money as you want as long as you don't go over 5.5 million. Or now it's even more than that. I think it's way up there.
I think it's 11 now.
Yeah. So there's no tax. A lot of people
11.18.
A lot of people have this fictitious idea, this myth, that if you give more than $14,000 in a year, that you pay tax on it. You do not. That's not true. There is no gift tax, and unless you go over the lifetime limit. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Let's talk to Marty. Marty, what's going on with you? Marty.
Hi, Tom.
Hey.
Please help me here settle an argument between me and my wife. We've only been married like 57 years.
Okay.
She's right.
Yeah.
You're right, Dave.
So, what's the question?
Last year, when the storm hit, we had damage on our house. We hired a general. They're very nice people. They came out. They had the roof on, all the roofs. I have a house, a garage, a shed, a back porch, all those sheds. All the roof, all the
Yeah, go ahead. It doesn't matter. What's your question? You had the roof done. We got that.
All right, now, the front porch, they said that they don't make that porch anymore.
Okay.
And the front siding.
Okay.
Now, I got a bill from them the other day. The last thing was the siding and the front porch. But I got a bill that wants my deductible.
What do you mean? Who wants your deductible?
The general.
Okay, well, how much is the total claim, sir?
It's on here. It says 9,000.
That's your total claim?
Like 10,000 here.
Okay, so then you would pay. What's your deductible? 1,000?
Yes.
Okay. Did you get the insurance check for 9?
Right. Yes, it says on here that it was paid 8,000 something.
Well, who paid that? Where's the insurance check? Who was it paid to?
We gave it to them.
Okay, why'd you do that?
Because it was for materials.
Okay, well, that's a whole different discussion. So I'm going to limit it to what you're asking. And you're asking what? When you should pay the balance?
Now here, we still have not got, they turned the front porch and the siding over to another sub.
Okay.
Now, so they send the bill for the $1,000 deductible. Now, do I wait until...
I mean, that's up to you. I mean, Marty, here's the deal, okay? There are several ways to pay. You can pay, it's whatever you agree on. I like not paying anything if possible, but I don't mind paying in stages either if it's a reputable company. I just don't like the idea of signing a contract a month ahead of time and giving them a third up front or the insurance check. You know, there's no law that says you have to give them that insurance check. I just wouldn't pay a lot of money up front for nothing. And when you say it's materials, that's not true. That's way more than materials. If they wanted to be paid for materials, I tell people, okay, have the materials delivered, and I'll pay you when they're delivered. And then I'll pay you a portion. But that's up to you and the contractor. I don't have a hard and fast rule that you never pay up front. It's okay to pay up front if you pay a reasonable amount and when work begins or when materials are delivered. I would always make my payments by credit card, even if I had to open up a credit card and put money in just for this. I would use credit cards. Now, on your other question, when should you pay this $1,000 due? Well, hell, you paid all but $1,000. I would wait until it, what would you do, Mark?
Until it was done past done.
I mean, you should have withheld way more than $1,000.
One other thing I think he should do. Maybe he'll recoup the deductible. He calls, go to referrallist.com and grab the name of our public adjuster and have him come play cleanup.
Yeah, now the public adjuster...
Paragon Services.
It's not going to cost you a dime because you already collected. So what you do is just see, for the heck of it, if there was any damage missed. Some of it are side allowances, some of it is for windows, or some of it... It's things that you wouldn't even know, or not even windows, but caulking and different things. They are known to boost claims without even...
Almost double.
Oh, well, yeah, in many cases, they double them. And you may think, wait a minute, why? Well, he will tell you some, and they're real claims. But you don't have to have all the work done. The only thing that the time you have to have the work done is if it's critical for safety or for, you know, preserving the property. So I would have a public adjuster take a look at it. But
and there's no risk if they don't get you anything, then you don't pay nothing.
And you only pay a percentage of what they collect. But here's another thing. Back on the topic. The very simple question was, when should you pay the amount due? When everything is 100% done.
Even if they're turning it over to a sub?
What difference does that make?
Well, I'm asking you.
No, dear, no. Here's the thing. You have one contract with one contractor. You have paid like 99% of it. Why would you bother paying the other 1% if it's not done? I would wait until it's done.
And if they have an issue with that, have them call us.
Yeah. There's no reason they should want all of that money up front before they're done.
Thank you very much.
I think it's reasonable.
So who won the argument, though?
Yeah, who won the argument, Marty?
She said that their part of it was done, and I keep saying, no, the whole darn job is.
Well, even if their part is done, Marty, do you think the remaining work they're only going to pay $1,000 for?
No, I agree, and you know, we still haven't got the siding on and the.
Yeah. I mean,
it goes to prove that men are generally correct.
No, if you ask me, Marty, seriously now, if you ask me, I don't think you withheld enough. I think you paid too much. Yep, okay, but no big deal. Do you like the contractor? That's the important thing, Marty. Do you like the contractor?
Yeah, they were. I mean, they jumped right on it.
Are they pressuring you at all?
No.
Good. Good. All right, Kyle's got a comment on that roofing call. Go ahead, Kyle.
Hey, Tom, we are building a house right now. Personally, I'm the GC, woohoo. And one other bit of advice that I would give that gentleman is, I heard him say that they have subbed out the
Yes.
roof. He needs, before he makes that final payment, he needs a release of lien from that subcontractor before he pays his GC, because that subcontractor could still put a lien on him. So before he makes final...
But you do understand that release of liens, they're not a bad idea, but they don't really release anything. Kyle.
And it's his residence, so they have an affirmative defense already if the sub did come after him.
But Kyle, let's just follow that train of thought very quickly. A lien release simply says that they are not going to file a lien. Okay? That's all it says. It also may indemnify saying we're not going to let any liens. But no, big deal. So then a lien comes. So if a lien comes from somebody else, what good is the lien release? It could be an employee. It could be an employee of that employee. It could be another person. It could be the supplier. So
a sub of a sub.
You would literally have to have everyone on the job do a lien release saying, I'm not going to ever lien this job. Everyone. I mean everyone. And you know, people put too much emphasis on lien releases. As Mark said, there's a statute, which is an affirmative defense, which says, not 1, if it's your primary residence, 2, if you pay in full, and 3, you have a written contract, and you pay according to that contract in full, then you have an affirmative defense against anyone else who comes up with a lien. I was one of the people who fought for that and got that passed years and years ago.
I for the life of me, don't understand how Alaramas does this.
Alaramas, how do you do it? Let's talk about that. How do you do For new customers only. He wants to introduce people to his service, so he's literally taking a loss here because he wants new people. So he's at Evans and I-25, and he's at south of Bowles on Santa Fe, and you are charging what for everything? No, seriously, $19.95. Tell us what you get for that.
Well, we're going to bring them in. We want to meet some new folks, let them find out what we've been doing for 26 years.
Sure.
Taking great care of customers. And I'll add all the little extras. But what we want to bring in, an oil change is the greatest way to get in the door. $19.95, we're going to do an oil change on your vehicle, top your fluids, test your battery and charging system, rotate your tires, check your brakes, look the whole car over, do the inspection for $19.95 for new people. And if you run full synthetic, I'm going to do for most of those cars $39.95 up to 5 quarts. That's so cheap.
So you can't even buy it for that, Tom.
Synthetic blends, $19.95 with filter and oil change. But this is what gets me. You do the whole tire rotation. That's cool, too. And come on, $19.95. A $20 bill, you're done. How really can you beat that? You can't. 303-PRO-AUTO. 303-PRO-AUTO. That's the number. If you want to look them up online, find out what they're all about, 303-PROAUTO.com.
This report is brought to you by Lifeline.
A couple of trouble spots in the highway drive in the metro.
Went to Crave. Have you ever been there?
Crave. I love Crave.
You do like the yogurt? No, it's a burger joint.
Oh, no, never went there.
It's like, it's the burgers like you have a fried egg and a steak and a pork chop on top of it.
What's the name of it? Crave?
Crave. God, it's good.
Yeah, when you eat lunch here at
We don't. 5 o'clock.
What's that?
You eat lunch?
I don't eat lunch. I haven't eaten lunch in, fuck, I can't even. Ever since I've been owed so many lunches. I wonder if I could cash in 2 lunches for every dinner.
For a dinner. You're here till 5 o'clock?
No. All right, some days.
Just basically intermittent faster.
And you got to go out and do some investigations?
When we do. We don't have to do that every week, but we take care of our calls afterwards. I'm trying to see where this Crave is at. I see it.
Castle Rock. Oh, yeah, that's it. Okay. See, look at the different burgers they have. They have the weird shit. I always get...
Highlands, they're in Highlands.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. I get the 3 little pigs. So it's a burger with bacon, ham, and shredded pork.
Oh, God.
Bacon, ham, shredded pork.
3 little pigs right here.
Yeah, they have one where they cut they'll cut a Krispy Kreme donut in half.
Bacon, no beef?
Yeah, no, everything's got the beef. Where's the beef?
No hamburger.
No, it does. Everyone's got hamburger.
That's on top of the hamburger?
Yeah, exactly.
Holy shit.
They won the Denver Burger Bell.
Did they?
How much was that? $20?
Oh, fuck no. They're like, that's probably $10. 10, maybe 11.
You get fries with it?
I don't eat them, but yeah.
Damn, that does sound good. Oh, gosh. Is the bun toasted? I like my buns toasted.
From the tractor seat.
Tuck, one no tuck.
I was going to ask you another Seinfeld question to see.
Oh gosh,
when
the trivia, man, I get on the spot.
When was a Clark bar bought? What were they doing when they bought the Clark bar? You probably don't remember this one.
What is it?
They bought some other things too.
What was the question?
When did they buy a Clark bar?
Was it Elaine and Jerry?
Yeah. The Clark bar. Well, that would be on the one with the where he goes car shopping for the new Saab. He buys one out of the vending machine at one point. There's a Clark bar. No, you want to bet?
The Raleigh House is the place to call if you need any information on addiction or addiction treatment. Now, the Raleigh House itself has an addiction treatment program for substances, drugs, alcohol, any kind of abuse like that. But the purpose of this line I'm going to give you is not a sales job. Now, don't get me wrong. You can enroll if you like them, if you found out enough about them at theraleighouse.com. But here's what happened. Mark and I visited them, and they said, we want to do some advertising, but we want it to mean something. We don't want the same old ads. And we said, let's do an information line where people can get true, honest-to-God information without any sales whatsoever, with no obligation. So they can ask questions like, how do you know there's an addiction? What are the signs? Give me the behavioral patterns. Can you tell me about other programs even? Are there any free programs? How long does addiction treatment take? Does insurance pay for it? What are some of the things I should say when I address an addict, when I confront an addict? How do I get him into treatment? There are so many questions you have when you find out, oh my God, there might be drugs in the house. What do I do? So call this number. You can call more than once. You can call several times. You can call with family members. It's free and no obligation and completely confidential. 720-893-5559. 720-893-5559. Jack has a comment on the woman who fell on the street and wanted to know if she had a case. We talked to our personal injury attorney, John Fuller. Jack, what's your comment?
Yes, if it's a state highway project, they should probably have a what's called a MHT, a method of handling traffic that they have to submit.
Yeah.
And that would include the sidewalks going through a project.
But what does that have to do with this? What does that have to do with this question, though, on the on the injury?
With that, they have to allow for whatever traffic control devices to put up to block off sections of sidewalk or whatever else.
No, I appreciate that, but still,
if they didn't do that,
if they didn't do it, then what?
And didn't follow that, then the contractor might be liable for not correcting or not allowing for the free flow of pedestrians to go.
So,
to
Jack,
the job site.
that's why we asked. We did ask, like, was this made for walking or what? So you bring up a good point, and that is, what if the contractor did not follow proper procedure? Isn't that what we're boiling it down to? If the contractor did not follow proper procedure, would he be covered by the state's immunity? That's a good question, isn't it? Like,
no, usually there's a contract with the agency and the contractor,
right?
And then they have to supply insurance.
That's right.
To the agency, so there might be a case against the contractor's insurance.
That's right. That's a good point. Now, however, there have been cases in the past where the contractors have been covered by the governmental immunity, or at least that's what their insurance companies argued. And I remember John Fuller telling us that if they're an agent of the state, they could very well be covered if they're not egregious, if the offense is not that serious and it's not just out and out, flat out negligent.
Are most sidewalks in general, I was thinking about one of the buildings I own. I actually was responsible for maintaining the sidewalk, but I could use it for city use, almost like an easement. So ultimately, I wonder if they slipped on city property, or if they slipped or fell or tripped or whatever it was, actually on somebody's property.
No, if you're in charge of maintaining the sidewalk in front of your business, they can, even if it's a city sidewalk, they can sue you for sure.
That's what I'm saying.
For sure.
I wonder why they didn't look into that.
Because it was the street. It wasn't the sidewalk.
It was not the sidewalk.
It was the street. That was all being worked on. Now, if the sidewalks were closed and they were improving it, like the store, but they don't do that. I mean, I guess they do, but that wasn't the case here. He said both sides of the street were out. It sounds like there was just street work being done. What's going on with Robert's Verizon? Robert?
Yes, hi, how are you?
Good, man. What's going on with Verizon?
Oh, my wife's mother died in November of 2017, and we overpaid the final bill, and the account has a credit of $66.80, and every single month since then we get a bill that says, you have a credit.
And why don't you just, how do you take advantage of a credit on someone who died?
Well, basically, it would be a check that would be issued in her name to the address on file, and it would go into the
estate.
The estate.
Yeah.
We've talked to customer service several times. The first time we called, they said,
why don't they just send her a check?
Because we get this every time now. Quote, the account cannot be accessed without a PIN.
Wow.
And it's hard to provide a PIN for somebody who's deceased. And
well, there must be a way. For example, if you want to reset the PIN.
You need the PIN to reset the PIN.
Well, no, you
They
don't.
even
I
had
mean,
me on the
obviously,
phone.
there's obviously a way to do that because I had to reset my PIN with Verizon before.
They actually had me sit there on the phone for about 10 minutes trying to guess what the PIN was.
Well, what I'm saying
it's always,
is, if
you must provide the PIN before they can issue the credit.
Why not just say she's deceased and you're the heir or whatever?
Yeah, we've done that. We have done that.
And what? You obviously
and we're not
have
even asking for it to be issued in our name, obviously.
How much are we talking?
$66.
Oh,
I know.
Lord, my man.
No, but think about this. Think of how much money they make on this after with a lot of people if they die.
Not just them.
But here's the deal. Here's the deal. You're obviously expending way more effort than the $66 is worth.
You're telling me.
I would, if it was me, I'd forget about it. But you're not going to forget about it. So I don't know. What do you do? I think there is a way. I think that you have since you're into this, have the estate attorney or the executor of the estate, what they call the representative, personal representative, write a letter with the death certificate, and demanding that a check be issued to the estate.
I bet David Salisbury runs into this all the time.
I think that's going to be very easy, Robert. You get an attorney to write a letter.
The last time that I had a problem,
and that would cost you about $200.
$200 to get your 60.
Right. But what else can you do? I mean, if that bothers you that much. Seriously, I mean, it's $66. Can I ask you, why do you care so much about the $66? Is it just the principle of the thing?
It is. And
okay, listen.
We're getting a bill every month, but on the bill it says negative $66.80.
So it just bugs you.
And wasn't it your money, Robert? Like you paid the bill,
yes,
the final bill?
They did. They paid it.
Yeah.
The point is, you'd helped me once in a problem with a cell phone company, and
yeah.
all you did was get the right person to
yeah.
talk
You know what?
And that's what we're going to do.
Do we
that's
have a Verizon
do.
Angel? Yeah, we do.
We are, Robert. We're going to
We're
going to take a stab at this. I was just curious as to why it was so important, but that's okay. We'll do it. Jack, is this? Oh no, that's not. He's gone. Let me just drop that line. Okay, so Jacob, tell me about Burke and Cotter Motors. Didn't we have a good call about them the other day? Are they in Parker?
They got a couple locations, I think.
Jacob, what's the problem?
So the problem with me, Rom, is that I purchased the truck from them in 2015. I paid the truck off this year. I received a clean title from them. And then I went to sell the truck, and somebody sold a Carfax, and it said that the truck is a total loss.
Well, what do you mean a total loss? When did it show it being a total loss?
In 2010.
Before you bought it, obviously.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So they said, where was it a total loss?
I still haven't heard back from Carfax. I'm trying to figure out what that's all about.
So you obviously didn't do a Carfax.
No, I didn't. Not when I purchased it.
Okay. So here's the deal. They have to disclose if this was salvage if they knew it.
If they knew it. And apparently the title is not branded because this guy's got the title and it's not branded.
So you do understand the level of proof you're going to have to go through to prove that they knew it. And then what are your losses? Let's talk about that. What are the losses?
I'm trying to sell the truck now. I need the money, and I can't sell it because nobody wants to buy a truck.
Well, that's not true at all. People buy them all the time. So here's what you do. You find out what the normal market value is on that truck. And then you try to sell it. And then you tell people, by the way, in 2010, this was totaled, and it was rebuilt, and it's fine. We don't even have a branded title, but I wanted you to know it. And then if they insist on money off from normal value, you have to figure out, before you can do anything, you have to figure out what your loss is. So let's say you have to take $1,000 less, right? Or $2,000
or $5,000.
Now you have a loss. But that still doesn't entitle you to ask them to, well, you can ask them anything. But you're going to now have to prove that Burke and Cotter purposely sold this knowing it was salvage and did not tell you. And
there's another thing.
To recover your money. But those are the steps, Jacob.
Let's say they did know it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they sold it to him at a substantially cheap price or a substantial discount.
If he has a loss, he still has a loss.
It could have been not branded on the title, but through an insurance company if it was a theft recovery or hail.
What difference does it make?
Because if the hail was fixed right, it doesn't mean anything.
Well, if it was,
It does when you go to sell it.
yeah, it's still going to be branded. But you're right. Hail would be different, for example, than a major frame job. But have the car checked out, did you? Did you have the truck checked out? Well, the truck might be perfectly repaired and rebuilt or restored. And if that's the case, you just tell the new owner, look, I didn't even know this because the title's not branded, but apparently in 2010, blah, blah, blah. And then you say, but you're welcome to take it to a body shop and have it checked out. And then if you give them a discount off the normal price, not off the highest price, but a normal average price, then keep track of it, and then go to Birkencotter and ask them for the money. And if they say no way, in fact, I'd ask them now if they're willing to do anything for you. And they don't have to unless they sold it. Do you believe, personally, do you believe that they knew it was salvaged?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay, so it's going to be a moot point at this time. But boy, does it show the importance of doing research on a title before, doesn't it? 303-713-8255. Joseph A. Lazara is a criminal defense attorney. I hope you never need. I say that every time I mention his name. But you know what? People still need him. Why? Mostly for drinking and driving, which, of course, can be so avoided. But instead of preaching to you, I'm going to give you his number, okay? And I'm just going to hope that you use Uber and use Lyft and prevent any future incidents of drinking and driving. You may be shoplifting. Who knows? 303-429-6200. Joseph A. Lazara.
This is Denver's Talk Station, 630 KHOW.
Things can show on Carfax, not branded on the title.
The sea was angry that day,
my friend.
like an old man returning soup in a deli.
Where would I keep?
You know the timing belt call? I had Norris look at that timing belt photos.
Yeah.
He says, that looks like a newer timing belt. It looks like it's due to a failure of the engine seizing up or something.
Cam seizing or something.
So I was going to get that on the air, but I didn't know what the guy's question was about the tensioner or the
But
water.
he still can't tell. Norris, without looking at it,
No,
can't
but he
tell.
would be able to tell.
He looked at the photos and said his best guesstimate is that's a newer timing belt,
It's an aftermarket.
not an older timing belt.
The damage to it is unusual, too. All the teeth torn out. That means like one of the teeth things stopped moving.
idler.
That's what I think Norris was getting at. But what was the water pump
There's also,
tension?
there might be in the hydraulic section.
When you buy
No,
a timing belt,
those kits
it's a good
usually
idea
don't
to
have the
replace those other
hydraulic.
things because they couldn't
They
make
don't
a timing belt. The idlers not water. Because if they see something up there,
There's usually idlers.
Well, I want to get that on the show for
Tensioner.
follow-up,
And
right?
some cars have a hydraulic.
Okay, I'm trying to get a hold of the customer. If not, we'll do it
Oil
tomorrow.
pressure pushes it out, some spring.
Yep. Some. And if it had that, those usually don't come in the kit because you can reuse those.
It was something on the tooth side that stopped turning though, like the cam, that pushed the teeth off.
To rip them off. What is that?
Oh,
On the timing belt. Timing belt's got all these teeth in it. And they're just
You know
shredded.
what? Yeah, that does seem.
Teeth were all torn off.
Almost like the water pump seized up and then it just ripped the
I
teeth
think the
off.
water, I don't know if the water pump has teeth on it or the, on one side you just got smooth rollers, on the other side you
We
got
never
teeth.
asked, so now he says damage to the car, so it's too late. What came first?
Right.
Yeah, chicken or egg, yeah, that's a chicken egg.
Well, technically, the egg had to have come first, no matter how you look at it.
Of course.
Who laid the egg?
It had to.
Well, then who laid the egg?
A previous form of a chicken.
Okay.
A fish.
So he just decided, hey,
Haven't you seen the fish walk
I'm
right
gonna
out
do
of
an
the
egg
ocean?
this time.
Yeah,
Lay the egg.
the Jesus fish that kind of
Comes right out, lays the egg, that's it.
So that just said, I'm going to lay an egg this time.
Of course so, if you think about it. Okay, example, if a tree falls in the woods, did the bear take a shit on it?
Depending.
What, you haven't heard that?
Oh, God, it's so many metaphors mixed.
Yeah.
You want to take Pueblo?
Oh.
Complete this sentence. Frank Duran,
The real estate man.
.com, if you're looking for excellent representation when buying or selling.
Can I tell you a quick one on Frank? Real quick.
Go ahead, quickly.
My neighbor used him, our old neighbor Annie.
Yeah.
He listed it. He got $18,000 more than she listed it for.
I got that email. That was great.
Thank you.
So, no, $18,000 more and quicker. And she said, you know what? This guy looks so meek and mild and talks really, very, very low-key. And you're thinking, uh-oh, do I have to light a fire under him? No, you don't.
I won't negotiate with him.
No, seriously. 303-920-1622. Simply the best. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. What's going on with you, Rick? What's happening? Sounds serious.
Hi.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Yes, I had hired a contractor to come finish my patio cover.
Yeah.
And this was back in October. I hired him. And I didn't have the money, so he talked me into financing the money through Home Depot, where I paid for the supplies for my patio cover, and he needed to buy something for another job that he was working on. And
wait, hold on. So not only did you open up an account at Home Depot, but then you allowed him to use it for other stuff?
I was right there when he was purchasing.
Oh, good. And did you put this agreement in writing?
Yes, I did. I have it in writing. I did
good.
Everything.
Rick, how much extra did he buy? The stuff for not for your job?
Well, everything was included for my job. Let me go ahead. Everything was included part of my job, but I was just trying to pay him extra, so I didn't have to come up with all the money at once.
So how did you do that?
So I went and charged up $6,500 on my Home Depot credit card. That was $3,200 was mine, and $3,300 was with his other job.
Well, then you answered my question. You charged $3,300 extra for his other stuff.
Right, but he wanted to charge me overall for the project for my patio cover. He wanted to charge me $8,000.
Right, so it would be now $8,000 minus minus $3,200 for materials, and another $3,300 you let him use.
Correct.
Okay.
And then I had to pay him, I had to pay him $1,500 on top to make up to the $8,000 because it was $6,500.
I get it, bro. I get it. So $6,500 was on your account, and then the other you had to pay. So where are we going with this story? It's so far very logical.
So he's supposed to finish the work back in November. I gave him the money in the beginning of October. He's supposed to finish it up on.
Now, did you give him the
November
15?
31st.
Did you give him the $1,500?
No. Let me finish. Okay.
All right.
So in November, he did not finish it up. So December, I went and filed with the court with Arapahoe County. I went and filed that he did not finish the work.
Okay. What are you suing for? How much with Arapahoe?
Arapahoe. I went to Arapahoe County. I want him to.
How much?
$6,500, the money that I gave him.
Okay, gotcha. Because he didn't do any work at all?
No, the product was sitting there for almost 2.5 months in my driveway.
What product?
My patio cover, the stuff that he purchased.
I don't think, personally, you will get the $3,200 because that stuff's still there.
Right. But so anyways, I went to court on December 2nd, and I filed on December 2nd for him the first week of December, and it turned out that he found out about, I guess he got the court work to the paper, so he decided to come do a little bit of work and stuff like that. So in January, he started doing my work, and he said, I'll be done in a couple of weeks. A week before court date, because it was end of January was my court date, he stops showing up. He doesn't return my calls or nothing. Finally, I see him in court.
Okay.
And he's like, you should have told me about that you were taking me to court. I'm like, well, you should have gotten
All right, so where does this stand right now? This is a lovely story, but where does it stand?
So in January 27th, I went to court. He's like, all right, we've settled it up. Judge is like, $1,300, you still owe the gentleman. Why don't you go ahead and give him the $300 today, and he'll go ahead and get your project done. In 2 weeks, I want you guys back over here. And 2 weeks later, we went back to the court. I'm like, Judge, I gave him the $300. I gave him the money, and then he still didn't get the project done.
That judge, in my opinion, was out of order, saying you should pay him more money. You were paid way ahead of time. So you paid him an extra $300. So now you have $3,500 plus another $300. Now you're out $3,800.
Well, totally, I'm out.
Well, yeah,
almost
plus
7,000.
but the $3,200 are materials that you have.
Correct.
Okay,
correct.
well, you can't discount those to zero, sir. That $3,200 worth of materials for you, you still have. Anyway, where are we going? Where does it stand today?
Okay, so now I went back to the court 2 weeks after that.
Sure.
He did not show up for the court. Only thing he did
Did
was,
the judge issue you a judgment?
Yes.
Good.
The judge issued me a judgment
Good.
for $800.
Excellent.
Now I got other contractors.
Wait a
to come
minute.
Look at
Wait a minute. What do you mean for $800? You're owed way more than that.
That's what he gave me a judgment for, because originally when I first filed for $6,500, he came and did some of the work.
Okay.
And then I went back to
How
court.
much will
I'm
it
like,
cost to finish this job?
The job by itself was going to cost me another $2,000 or $3,000.
Now, that's what I thought. Now, that's to bring it up to the standard it would have been in the beginning. That's not extra. That's what it's going to cost, right?
Correct. And then I have other contractors. I have one coming in Tuesday night. He's going to come look at the property.
Rick,
and
you
they
got
said
screwed, and let me tell you something, bro. You already took a bite out of the apple. You already sued him. You got a problem. You should never, ever have settled for that judgment, because you should have first found out what your damages were. You should have said to the judge, you know, Your Honor, my damages well exceed $800. Permission to postpone this until I can get you a list. You instead accepted a judgment for $800. You don't get to go back and increase that.
And that's exactly what the judge told me, because I was coming in.
Well, yes, because
no, the judge told me before he even settled it. I said I can't do it because you're coming into court only doing it for $1,000. That's what the discrepancies was.
Rick, you're screwed, bro. You're screwed. I don't know how else to put it. You're not going to get more money. The judge already made his ruling. That is correct. That sucks. I mean, I'm on your side, Rick. That sucks. But it already happened. I mean, you should have never, ever let it get this far. You did it all wrong. Now, you have $3,200 worth of materials, and how much of the work still has to be done? Give me an idea without giving me a story. Like 20%, 30%, half? 20%. 20% of the work needs to be done. He put panels underneath. He used compressed wood instead of using the actual under the soffits, that there's a different kind of material that you use. Instead, he used compressed wood that you put between. No, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Yeah, he used particle board. Exactly. That's what he used, or MD. Board. He might have used MDF. Now, the MDF is not totally useless there, I don't think, if you coat it properly. But listen, who did you have? Where did you find this clown to begin with?
He was in my neighborhood, and he was doing other people's property.
How did you find the second guy to come out and give you an idea? How'd you find him?
Online. I searched for him online, and he's a really, I guess, big company. And
what's the name of the second guy?
Well, the first guy. What do you mean the second guy? The
one that gave you the bid to fix it. How much? What's the name of that company?
He hasn't. It's going to come out tomorrow, Tuesday. I sent him the information.
Okay. What's the name of the bad guy? What's the name of the first guy, the bad guy?
The first guy, his name is Cody Lowther.
And what's the name of the construction? What's the name of the company?
The first construction company, it was called CCL Improvements.
And this is Cody, right?
Yeah, CCL Improvements. And then the second company they opened up, they're still in business. It's called All in One Services.
Wait. You're confusing me. Okay. How many? The guy that took your money and used your credit card, credit. His name is Cody, right?
Cody Lowther, correct.
And he had two companies.
Yeah, the first company when he started my job.
Right, and then a second one.
And then that company went out of business.
I don't know. How do people get so royally screwed? Why? People, listen. Before you start work, will you please call us? Please? Before you do it. It's too late for Rick right now. Rick, I suggest you call the referral list. Maybe you can get Genesis Total Exteriors or someone else to come out and look at it. We have Best Basements Denver. I mean, he does other things. But you know what? Genesis, they do all of that work. The decks, and all of that stuff outside, and siding and windows. They also do interior work. GenesisTotalExteriors.com. Now, they're busy. They may not get to you, but at least give them a try. And people, we have plenty of other people on the referral list as well. But please protect yourself. Please call me. By the way, Genesis's number is 303-679-8509. GenesisTotalExteriors.com. But as I said, we have other people as well. But I invite you guys to call us with questions. Please, please. I want to try to help you before you get into trouble. Call us at the first sign of trouble or when you're thinking about doing something. Call 303-MARTINO, leave a message. Dan will get back to you, even if it's for a recommendation.
This report is brought to you.
This is like, why the fuck? I find so many of these are shopping price so badly through Craigslist and everything else.
And time, not just price.
Yeah, oh, I can do it right away and I can do it for
That's
price.
right.
See, because they're not going to do it.
That's what's causing this.
It's the lure, yeah. What'd you say about that?
It's the allure of the price, man.
Yeah, it is.
It's like me with women.
Yeah.
Why would you go to Home Depot and use a card and
I
buy
would
stuff
have,
for another?
somebody who's
That was his way of financing it. That's why, and that's not a terrible idea, but he shouldn't have done it up front.
And he's getting 2% back on his Home Depot card.
I just think they get. I just think
5% at Lowe's. Home Depot got rid of it. That's why I fucking won't shop at that piece of shit store anymore.
Who? You won't shop?
Home Depot got rid of their
Hey,
5%
Dan,
back.
Clint, Mildred with the fence you guys were supposed to follow up on. I thought it was you, Dan. Mildred, older lady, ordered a fence.
Single gal.
Do you remember that?
I don't remember. Doesn't sound familiar to me either.
What's the chances of a girl named Mildred under 60?
Can you get her number and I'll give her a call?
Yep.
And at one time she was with us.
No, not necessarily.
Who in Seinfeld?
She could have changed her name as she got.
You know, realize one of these days we're going to find people.
And by the way,
named
Clark
like
Bar
Heather.
wasn't in that thing.
Say that again.
Clark Bar was not in that.
Yeah, it was.
No, it was not.
Yes, it was.
No, it was not.
Okay, I'm going to prove it, bud.
Wait, what was the question?
Where was a Clark Bar bought in the Seinfeld?
I don't even know what it is.
Clark Bar. Again, I got to put up with this because he played a game of trivia and he absolutely kind of won a little bit.
And we agreed that I, by winning that game, was the ultimate never to be changed ever again, no matter what.
Trivia guy on Seinfeld.
Oh,
He
no
knows
way, no.
every freaking thing that ever happened on every episode.
So, Dan, what did George give up that made him smarter?
Sex.
Sex.
That's how slow you are.
And what happened? What was the other reverse on that?
Elaine got stupid.
Elaine got, yeah, she got stupid.
Because
slow as well.
Oh, was that Master of Bill May?
No. You let him go, my brain's all foggy.
Like, is Kramer home?
And who was this one she was not giving up sex with? Who later dumped her?
Oh, what was it? I forgot the guy. I almost remember the
The mechanic guy, the car mechanic.
No,
It wasn't Buddy, was it?
No. It was that
It was
guy.
the guy doctor. He was going to be a
Yeah,
doctor.
he was going to be a doctor. As soon as he got a doctor, become a doctor, he dumped you
I
later.
was going to dump you anyways. Yeah.
Okay, was there a Clark Bar in the candy lineup? Of course, we know there wasn't because they were all Quicks.
One Clear Choice garage doors. Any garage door problem, any garage door maintenance issue, One Clear Choice doors. They have openers starting at just $333 with Wi-Fi technology, time to close feature, and battery backup. And listen to this one. They do doors as well as openers. Not just openers, but doors. OneClearChoiceDoors.com. They're great. Joe's got a comment on this contractor call. I just get so frustrated over these contractor calls. People, please spread the word. Okay, Joe, go.
Hi, well, at the end of that call, I caught that he said that this guy had billed him under two different companies. I don't know necessarily how he sued it, but there's no kind of loophole that would let him go after
the other guy?
company.
The first company, you know what? The first company's out of business. The second company he went after and got the judgment. I think he went after the guy personally. I'm not even sure of that. I don't know. I mean, this guy sounds so screwed up. But you're right. There might be another entity.
A for effort, but
There might be another entity. You're right, Joe. I mean, he does have to explore all of that. This guy just made so many mistakes. You know, the credit card thing and all the other stuff. Thanks, Joe, for listening and recommending something.
He's not out a ton, though.
No, he's not out a ton. He's not. Vivian, what's happening?
Hi.
Hi, Vivian. What's going on?
I'm 72 years old. April 29th, I'm 72. And you know that saying, there's no fool like an old fool.
Now, Vivian, hold on a sec. First of all, happy birthday. Second of all, let's make this easy for you. You had a project done at your home, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, and how much was this project either contracted for or paid? How much was the total job going to be?
$7,100.
And what were you going to have done for that, dear?
They were going to put, you know, that pretty tin roofing they do.
You were going to have some tin roofing put on.
Yeah, I think it's expensive.
Was this an insurance job?
No.
Okay.
On my own.
You just wanted to have a metal roof put on.
Yes.
And who did you call to do it?
It was in the Chronicle newspaper.
In the which newspaper, dear?
Chronicle newspaper in
Chronicle.
Trinidad.
Gotcha. Who did you call?
It's specializing in rock work.
And who is it?
Extension walls, masonry, concrete and stucco.
What's the name of the company?
He has no name on there.
Okay.
There's 20 years experience.
Okay, and you called and you called this number.
Yes.
And who showed up?
Jose Dominguez.
Jose Dominguez.
And his son.
And how
Edward
much did you pay them?
Vega. I paid them altogether was.
Yes. So far, what have you paid?
$7,130.
Oh, so you paid the whole thing?
And now Don Jose is saying that I owe him $3,100.
Okay.
Very persistent.
Vivian, first and foremost, let's just take some very basics. The first job, the job you had done for $7,130, is it done? Is it complete?
No.
What has to be done on it?
They were supposed to put stucco, 3 coats. They only put one coat.
It was more than the roof. You had the roof plus stucco done?
Yes.
And so they're not done with the stucco. Are they done with the roof?
No.
What do they have to do on the roof?
They were supposed to finish putting up the tin.
So so nothing is finished?
No, nothing is finished.
But he wants $3,000 more.
Yes.
Why?
I don't know. And he just...
Because he's a ripoff, it sounds like.
Gets very aggravated with me, gets very angry.
Well, you know what? Tough. We're going to help you. What, are you kidding me? Do you have your contract you can send to us, dear?
Yes, I have paper.
Now, are you on the computer? Do you have email?
No.
Okay. Where do you live?
Have to send a letter.
What part? No. What part of town are you in?
I'm in Trinidad, Colorado.
Oh, my God. Oh.
Deputy Dan will be there tonight.
No, hold on. Seriously. We need to help this poor lady. She's in...
Do you have a phone? Can you take a picture with your phone and text us? Or do you have a neighbor that can maybe help you out with email? Or fax it?
We need to get some copies of this stuff. Don't pay him a dime, and we want to help you. Don't pay him yet, okay?
Don't pay who?
Hold on.
Don't pay Jose any more money, okay?
Oh, no. I quit paying him, and now he's very resentful. And
okay, you hold on. We'll take care of him. Hold on.
Wait. If looks couldn't kill, that's the way that man looks at me now.
Okay, you hold on, dear. Vivian, hang on. Suzanne, let's get her number. Somebody needs to get in touch with her, and we need to do something. I'm Tom Martino.
The guy's trying to shake her down. He's literally intimidating her. We should probably get the sheriff.
This poor lady, honest to God, we need to help her.
Maybe we could get the Pueblo PD to down there. It's very close to.
I heard the Pueblo PD are one of the most top-notch law enforcement agencies in the country.
They really.
They're on top of it.
And they're taking crime down to a minimum in Pueblo.
I heard the sex crime division is #1.
I hate when these ladies are ripped off.
Well,
Why?
The problem is there's
Why are there so many rip-offs?
Everywhere.
God, it pisses me off. Can you imagine? My mom would have been, oh my God, thank God. I mean, she was at an earlier time and she was even ripped off. But
of course, but back then people took it as, hey, I was stupid for doing it. A lot of people.
This woman,
small claims court really come in the U.S. When they started doing small, because that to me is the biggest thing that really helped.
April 17th, 1930.
You know what though? We need to help this Vivian. And what else is going on? What else do you got on your plate? You had a lot of follows we were going to go over, but I got to go to the dentist. I got a special dentist appointment.
Yeah,